Hey, guys and gals, it's your boy JR, aka Lone Wolf's Bushcraft Travels. Hope you guys and gals are all doing well. I'm actually filming inside one of my walk in closets because the rest of my family is, I'm afraid, maybe playing music or maybe watching TV. So I went and put myself in this walk in closet. It's a nice, good sized walk in closet. There's my winter sleeping bag. I thought I would enjoy some Starbucks coffee here. This is pistachio cream cold brew coffee. I got me some fried eggs, toast, a little bit of hash brown, some avocado. Got me some navel oranges. Oops, some navel oranges. So show that off a little bit. That's what I'm having for breakfast. And like I said, the reason I came in here is because let me go like this. Um, yeah, my little family was. Never know if they're going to watch TV or play music or whatever. So just to be on the safe side, I went ahead and just put myself here. I don't like that angle. There we go. But yeah, that's so funny that you have to worry about that on a live stream, but you do. You have to worry about that. Hey, what's up, Brett? I always think that's funny. Uh, as YouTubers, we have to worry about that stuff. So I'm going to put this, I'm making a copy of this and put it down in the chat. So let me put this in the chat. Sorry about that. I should have put this in the chat earlier. Okay, that's in the chat now. Cool. So there's Brother Brett. And there's a link in case anyone wants to come up, which is cool. And yeah. Yeah, I wanted to, I really wanted to come on live, but like I said, I'm filming in my walk-in closet. One, because I'm afraid people will turn on the stereo or turn on the TV. So to be on the safe side, I went and jumped on this. Went and jumped in the walk-in closet here. So yeah, I don't know. I think I've I think I had. I can't remember. I may have done a live stream before here in the walk-in closet. Oh, that looks good. This fried egg looks good. So yeah, during this live stream, I'm gonna enjoy my breakfast. Yeah, gonna enjoy this breakfast with my toast here. My hash brown looks pretty good. Pretty good looking hash brown. Mm. So I guess you could say this live stream is going to be a simple open chat. Oh, thanks, Brett. Thanks for sharing out my stream. So I think the title of this live stream is Enjoying Breakfast, Lone Wolf's Bushcraft Travels Live. I think that's the title of this live stream. And most times when I come on live, it's because I really, really wanted to do a live. So that's why I'm live. I really wanted to come on. But today's more of an open chat live stream. So, anyways, hope you guys and gals are all doing well out there. Brett has shared out my live stream, which is cool. Anytime I'm on live and you guys want, you can share out the live stream, which is cool. Do. Oh, I'm eating fried eggs. I'm eating 2 fried eggs, hash browns, toast, some avocado, and some navel oranges here. And I also got me some pistachio cold brew coffee from Starbucks. It's really, really good. It's really good coffee. My daughter's the one that got me hooked on cold brews. So pretty good. So yeah, I thought I'd come on here live, and some of the best live streams I've had have been open chats sometimes, or a bunch of people end up coming up and I end up getting surprised. So some of my most fun live streams have been really impromptu live streams, which is super cool. Of course, it's morning time here in Midwest. So over in the evening, I imagine it's evening over in the Philippines. But today's live streams, because I really wanted to come on live stream. I didn't have any major announcements or anything. I just wanted to come on and do a live stream. And for me, and today it's just going to be a simple, people see I'm enjoying my breakfast, and it's an open chat live stream today. Wow, that's really good toast. I'm eating this multi-grain bread toast. I think it's got 12 different grains, multi-grain. Got me some avocado though. Yep, toast, 2 fried eggs, some Starbucks coffee cold brew, and some navel oranges. Just a couple pieces of navel oranges. Gonna make me a little sandwich here. Whoops, a little impromptu sandwich. I love fried eggs in the morning. Pretty good. I'm getting food stuff all over my hands. Extended highlights of game on YouTube. Oh, cool. On YouTube TV, I watched the Super Bowl on YouTube TV. Yeah, it was a great game, man. The only reason I was pulling for the Eagles is because Kansas City had won a Super Bowl not that long ago. And I know the Eagles won a Super Bowl too, but I actually was pulling for the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles. Hey, what's up, Ellie? How's it going, Ellie? So yeah, it was a close game, Brett. Um, it was really cool, man. And I was hoping, I had a feeling it was going to be a close game because the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles have similar records. I think the Kansas City's record was 16 wins and 3 losses, and the Philadelphia Eagles' record was 16 wins and 1 loss. I think what fired up the Kansas City Chiefs is some of the analysts was picking the Philadelphia Eagles to win that game. Oh yeah, happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. That's right, Valentine's Day is tomorrow. What's funny is I wanted to get married on Valentine's Day. I've been married to my lady. Uh, After February the 15th, I will have been married to my lady for 31 years. So I'll celebrate Valentine's Day tomorrow. And then the next day after Valentine's Day, I'll celebrate my 31st wedding anniversary. So I've been with my lady for 31 years. So that's pretty cool. Oh, cool. That's awesome, Ellie. All right. So why are you excited about Major League Baseball this season, Brett? Who are you pulling for? I'm going to be honest. When it comes to baseball, Major League Baseball or pro baseball, I am kind of lazy about watching it. Now, I played baseball as a kid, and I also played high school baseball as a kid, too. Um, but if I got to be honest with my audience here, I watch Major League Baseball probably once the World Series gets here. That's when I pay attention to Major League Baseball. They play a lot of games. So I think it's safe to say I like to play baseball more than I do watch baseball. But I will pay attention once the World Series comes here. So now, one thing I do like about basketball, one thing I like about pro basketball, and one thing I do like about pro baseball, the champion is it's the best out of 7 games. You know, and it's that way in pro baseball. You got to win so many games during the championship and then a champion's crown. Where in football, it comes down to 1 game and it's really trippy. Um, of course, we have the playoffs in football where the AFC championship and NFC championship brings the 2 teams together that are going to play in the Super Bowl. But yeah, one of the things I do appreciate about uh, the World Series, it's a series of the best out of so many games is the champion. And same thing with basketball. The best, whoever wins the most games in the series, it becomes the champion. It's not just 1 game. But I will say this: they do make a lot of money off that, having it that way in baseball and also that way in basketball. They make a lot of money off that, so that's cool. Um, Maybe it's good they don't do that in pro football because they hit each other pretty violently in pro football. But I've seen things get pretty physical in both baseball and also basketball. But yeah, football's definitely pretty hard hitting. So that's kind of wild. But yeah, when it comes to pro baseball, I really pay attention to when the World Series comes up. But I do know there's I know there's diehard baseball fans that watch it through the whole year. So, um, And I'm not sure how many games they play. They play quite a lot of baseball games in baseball. And then in basketball, I'm not sure the exact number, but I don't know why I want to say the number 89 as far as basketball games, but I might be wrong about that. But I'm sure they play a ton of games in baseball. And then, but if I'm honest, I really don't pay attention to pro baseball until the World Series hits, which I think that's a lot of people. But the diehard baseball fans watch the whole year. And I imagine there's some diehard NBA fans that watch the whole NBA basketball season. Now, I got to be honest, I'm that way with basketball as well. I don't watch the whole NBA season. I probably pay more attention when the playoffs come for the basketball. So yeah, the two major sports, baseball and basketball. I wait till their playoff time comes to tune in and really watch. Um, Now, part of the reason I can't watch the whole season, I try to watch as much of the season. When it comes to the professional sports, I probably watch pro football and college football the most. But I try to watch all of Notre Dame's games. I have a new football team I'm going to cheer for in college, the Colorado Buffaloes. My mom's family's from Denver. Um my baby brother has probably been a Colorado Buffalo fan longer than I have. Uh, but I just this year, Colorado Buffaloes hired Deion Sanders to be the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes, and it sounds like he's getting an all-star coaching staff. I mean, tons of coaches on his staff have been also former head coaches on other programs, and this is the Colorado Buffaloes is college football. I need to get me some swag. I don't know how soon I'll be able to pick up the Colorado Buffalo swag, but I do want to pick me up some prime time Colorado Buffalo swag. So that is this. Now I've been a Denver Bronco fan pretty much since I was little, really, really little. I was raised off of Denver Bronco football, but I'm a brand new Colorado Buffalo fan for the Colorado Buffaloes. I've been a lifelong fan of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. So since I was a small child, I've always root for the Fighting Irish, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They're up in Bloomington, Indiana. I'm sorry, they're in South Bend, Indiana. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish are in South Bend, Indiana. Um, I've been watching a lot of Colorado Buffalo YouTube videos showing off Deion Sanders, showing off the facilities there that the Colorado Buffaloes have, and just amazing. I mean, you got these gorgeous mountains in Colorado that surround the. Just when you look uh, from Deion Sanders' office, the head coach there, from the head coach's office at the Colorado Buffaloes, uh, you can see above the stadium. And just above the stadium is all these beautiful mountains there in Colorado. So it's surrounded by very beautiful mountains. Deion Sanders did admit that it is the first time he's really played in the snow. And so he really likes the outdoor part of Colorado. So I think Deion Sanders is really enjoying that. And he doesn't find the winters as cold uh, compared to other places. So he likes the Colorado winters. They really rolled out the red carpet for Deion Sanders for the Colorado Buffalo head coaching position. And like I said, I'm a brand new fan to the Colorado Buffaloes. So this season coming up, I think if I remember, the Colorado Buffaloes play their first game is with TCU, which is not an easy opponent at all. Um, TCU is a top ranked college football team, and that's the very first play. I remember looking at the Colorado Buffalo schedule. I believe they play TCU, and that's a really tough team. So, but uh, it looks like they're having an amazing recruiting class at the Colorado Buffaloes. So I think they're going to. I think the Colorado Buffaloes are going to have a heck of a turnaround, or I wanted to say hell of a turnaround. So yeah, there's going to be. Uh, I don't know how many people are stuck in the transfer portal, but on day one when he first met with the team, Deion Sanders, he prime time. First thing he said was he was encouraging a lot of the people on the Colorado Buffaloes, a lot of the players, to jump in that transfer portal because he talked about all the hard work that's going to be happening when he arrives there. So, oh yeah, man, I think they're going to get a heck of a recruiting class. The Colorado Buffaloes are. So I'm expecting good things out of the Colorado Buffaloes. And like I said, they really rolled out the carpet for prime time. That's his nickname, Deion Sanders. Um, yeah, I'm so excited for the Colorado Buffaloes. And like I said, this is my I'm a brand new fan. As far as when it comes to college football, brand new fan. Uh, I'm Colorado Buffalo's newest fan. um, but as far as lifelong fan, I've been a lifelong fan of Notre Dame football. And I've been a lifelong fan as far as when it comes to pro football. Um, I cheered on the Denver Broncos. And then, of course, when Indianapolis finally got the Colts, I became a Colts fan. So I've been a Colts fan once they left Baltimore and came and settled here in Indianapolis. I became a Colts fan, and I've been a Colts fan ever since. So, two of the teams I've cheered on the most when it comes to pro football will be the Indianapolis Colts and the Denver Broncos. Those are my top two teams I've cheered on the most. Uh, when Gruden came back and coached for a second time the Raiders, I became an Oakland Raiders fan. And even when they let Gruden go, I still remained an Oakland Raiders fan. Um, I'm kind of sad that the Oakland Raiders let go of Carr. Um, I I don't think you can blame everything on Carr. I think Carr may go to the Saints. I'm not for sure about that. But if he ends up going to the Saints, they're getting a good quarterback because I consider Carr still a really good quarterback. Um, I think Russell Wilson is expecting big change from uh, they're bringing in Sean Payton uh, to the Denver Broncos. He's going to be the new head coach. Sean Payton's going to be the new head coach of the Denver Broncos. He used to coach the Saints. He led the Saints to a Super Bowl. He coached them up to a Super Bowl. I think Sean Payton's going to bring a lot of discipline to the Broncos organization, and so I'm looking. I think the Denver Broncos are going to have a good season. So I think it's going to be good times for the Denver Broncos. It's going to be a lot of hard work. I think the expectations are super high. Uh, the Denver Broncos have been bought out by new ownership, and the fact that new ownership went out pretty hard to get Sean Payton. Of course, um, if you recap the whole Bronco season, they went out and got a new head coach, and then of course they traded a lot of draft picks to get the quarterback that they wanted, and um, that new quarterback kept saying, "All right, let's ride Broncos country." So I think that's going to drop. I don't know. Well, I don't know. May or may not. But they traded a lot of draft picks last year to get, yeah. And of course, everyone knows the Denver Broncos didn't have a good season this past year. The Colts didn't have a good season this past year. Um, both of them had picked up older quarterbacks with a lot of experience, and there's nothing wrong with that. Um, Obviously, with Matt Ryan going to the Colts, obviously the Colts felt that Matt Ryan was going to fit their system, and things didn't work out for the Colts they wanted to. I was bummed when they did let go of the Colts head coach. Um, I believe that coach did the best he could, and personnel kept getting turned over all the time. So I don't know if you can blame that on the head coach. But Ursay, he can run his team the way he wants. So, um, but yeah, I guess you can take a lot of same thing with Nathaniel Hackett. He took a lot of heat for the Colts not having a good. Not the Colts. I'm bouncing back and forth between teams. Nathaniel Hackett, uh, since the Denver Broncos didn't have a good season, and of course there's Russell Wilson, the quarterback of the Broncos. Russell Wilson and Daniel Hackett did not get the season they really wanted for Denver. Yeah, iced coffee. I'm still knocking it down. I didn't think I would like pistachio cold cream coffee, but I actually really like it. It tastes really good. It doesn't taste anything like it has kind of a nutty flavor to it, but it doesn't taste exactly like pistachio. It tastes really good though. It's hard to describe, but it's kind of a nutty taste. But it makes for a nice cold brew coffee. So Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson did not get the kind of season they had really envisioned for the Denver Broncos was not the season they got. And because the way Russell Wilson's contract was set up, they're pretty much stuck with Russell Wilson for a really long time. Now, the kind of contract they must have did with Nathaniel Hackett must have not been like ironclad because they let him go. Um, but then Nathaniel Hackett ended up getting hired by another team. And then same thing with the Colts head coach. Even though the Colts didn't get the season they wanted, that coach ended up getting hired on with the Carolina Panthers, I believe. So, and what's funny though, the young Arizona's head coach, they got fired from the Arizona Cardinals. He went off to Thailand with his girlfriend, and teams still tried to get him to come on, and they still have to pay him a lot of money. Here's Brother Brett.
Up here because I'm only one in the chat, so why keep typing?
Hey, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you know
you're talking
what's
about the Colts.
you know,
Yeah, there's going to be crazy crap going down in the NFL in the offseason with
oh yeah,
players leaving teams,
most
teams getting new quarterbacks.
yeah.
They're talking about it because
You,
they said the NFC's up in the air. There's only like about 4 good quarterbacks, and they go, who's going to be the quarterback of all these other teams? Because like Seahawks, for example, they may not re-sign Geno Smith. You don't know. Because Geno Smith had his best year. He had like 31 touchdowns or something, by far his most touchdowns of his
mm-hmm.
career. And then he's probably going to want what the analysts are thinking that are local sports, like Dave Wyman and Mike Holmgren, because Mike Holmgren comes on one of our local radio station once a week and talks for like about a half an hour. He calls in, and they're thinking he's going to want around $30 million. Geno Smith.
Ooh. And
A year.
you think Seahawks may not want to pay that, huh?
May not. It depends if they want to invest that in, because what it does, if you wrap up a lot of money in your quarterback, then it and you don't have much money to spend, then it screws you for getting another good like defensive player or wide
Yeah.
receiver or offensive lineman.
You know, one of the things I liked about John Elway, I just rewatched a documentary about John
Mm-hmm.
Elway, and John
Which one,
Elway.
the football life or
Well,
the different one?
uh, I don't. Yeah, I don't think it was the one called The Football Life.
The Football
But
Life ones are
anyways,
good though. They're the ones the NFL Network does, and they've done them
right,
on like
yeah, those
dozens
are
of
good.
players, like
Anyways,
30 or so.
I since I was little, I was raised a Denver Bronco fan, and one of the things I
Mm-hmm.
liked that Elway did, Elway kept losing the Super Bowl every time he kept going, but then he won these last two back-to-back Super Bowls,
Mm-hmm.
and
One
part
was
of the
against
reason
Green
is,
Bay, and one was against the
yeah,
Falcons.
well, part of the reason I think he won these Super Bowls is he pulled his own money back so they could pay him later, because he wanted
Mm-hmm.
a better running back game and he wanted to get
Yeah.
better defense. And what a smart player, pulls his money back so that they could
Mm-hmm.
get more players
Yeah,
so
because
they could
most
build a
players are
stronger
greedy
team.
and want as much money
Yeah,
as they can get. And some players will go, "Well, I'll take like 5 million less a year, 10 million less a year, so we can go out and get another good player and help the team out."
right, right,
Because like some players do that. Like now what I don't like in another sport, these stupid NBA players that only play like 1 or 2 years for a team and won out already. Did you see what went down in the NBA? Like
right.
Westbrook is out of LA already, and he's playing with Luka Doncic and the Mavericks, and then or no, it's not Westbrook. It's Kyrie Irving that's playing with Luka Doncic. He wanted out already. He was only there for like a year and a half with freaking Brooklyn. He wanted out,
Right.
and then I think Durant's laughter might leave too, and then Westbrook's out already, and he was only not even a year and a half in freaking LA, or like
There's
about a
a
year and a
joke
half
about
ago.
the Indiana Pacers that we're the farm club for the rest of the NBA. They learn the NBA way of playing and then they go play somewhere else and become a
Yeah, they
star
do
on it.
because you at one time you had a good player. He probably averages like 20, 21 points a game, and George. You guys had Paul George for like probably 5 or 6 years, and
Mm-hmm.
then he left, and then you guys lost all your good players. Well, the only player that stayed for his whole career, I think, or I'm pretty sure
Reggie.
with one team was Reggie Miller. He spent like 16 years or something.
Mm-hmm.
The same, just
And
like yeah.
he played around. He played around a little bit with possibly going to New York, and then the
Mhm.
Pacers still paid him,
Yeah, but
even though they
Spike Lee
didn't
didn't
work
want him
out.
going to New York because Spike Lee and him hated each other.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, like when
But
Reggie Miller
I,
would hit a big 3-pointer, he'd look over at freaking Spike Lee and like glare at him on the bench
I
because
always
Spike Lee
sometimes go,
always sat front row like in the middle of the court. And then Spike Lee would like
oh man.
would like say some words to him.
And you know what's funny? It seems like the Pacers haven't been ever,
Relevant.
at least, yeah. It seems like they've not been heavily in the playoffs like they were when they had the Reggie.
Yeah, well, Reggie Miller is the best player they had in their franchise.
Yeah.
I think, anyways, because he
So,
he averaged like 20 points a game and like their all-time leading 3-point shooter. Still like
so
number
what
three
would
on
you like to see?
three-pointers all the time, I think.
So, what kind of moves would you like to see Seattle do to improve for next year?
Probably keep Geno Smith because what I'm thinking is he's gonna be their best option at quarterback. Because
Cool.
there's a couple ones coming out of the draft like C.J. Stroud from what's it called is coming out, and then so is the Clemson quarterback. But I don't think it's hit or miss with quarterbacks. Like maybe one out of every four. You look at the draft, like one out of every four, maybe every other year, a quarterback turns out good, or not even that sometimes. Most of the number one quarterbacks were busts.
So
They
is
were
Carr
picked number
going? Do
one.
you know if Carr's
90% of them were
going?
busts in the history of
Do
the
you know if
NFL.
Carr's going to the Saints?
No, he
Do you know if
doesn't want to
Carr's
go.
going to?
He doesn't want to go. That's what he said recently in a statement. He wants to be released because he doesn't want to be traded to the Saints.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That's what he said. That's what he said. Like yesterday, he didn't want to be traded to the Saints. I saw
I
news
still
because
think
I get Raiders news.
yeah.
So
I still
he's
think I still think he's a good quarterback. I'm a
a
little
good quarterback.
shocked.
The problem is the he did, like, if you look at his passing stats, you look at the wide receiver stats on the team. from his last season, freaking Devontae Adams had like 40% of the yards that of total yards the Carr had. He had like 40% because Renfro and Waller were never 100% healthy, and then nobody else really stepped up. And I don't think that Waller is going to be healthy anymore in his career. He's not going to play more than 10 games ever again. I don't think. He's injury prone.
I talked to a few Colts fans, and instead of getting a quarterback that's already played for another team, a lot of Colts fans say maybe we should start off with a rookie. Get someone in the draft.
Try it anyways for
and then
a couple seasons. Get a rookie and try it for a couple seasons. If it doesn't work out, then but you need a backup to fall on though. Right. You should get like a journeyman that's like solid to back him up or something.
I was so excited about Matt Ryan, and I guess I
thought he was going to be better too.
Well, I thought he had plenty. I don't think they should give up on Matt Ryan still. I think he still has an incredible quarterback mind. And is Nick Foles still with the Colts?
I don't even know.
Oh, okay.
I know Matt Ryan still is. Well, because what it is, you can't I don't think you can release it. There's just a certain time in the NFL in the offseason you can put a player in free agency. It starts in March sometime. I can't remember the exact date, but it's like in March. So you can't sign anybody until like free agency and trading starts. There's a certain deadline for that, or when it starts, and how long you can do it or something. Because that's when you notice, like in March when people start trading the crap.
Right. I like what Sean Payton said about Russell Wilson. He's gonna find out what Russell Wilson's strengths are and start putting him in position where.
Well, he's a good coach. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
He's a better coach than the goofball they had coaching Wilson this last season.
Hey, I think the Colorado Buffaloes are going to have a big turnaround with Deion Sanders there.
He already got a 5-star recruit that was like the best defensive back in freaking like college, I think.
Yeah.
To decommit from one school to go to his. He was already committed to a school and he decommitted and went to Colorado just because of Deion Sanders.
Yeah. The majority of the coaches that are going to be on the staff, some of them have been former head coaches on other staffs, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and then his son transferred with him too. His son, who was a starting quarterback for Jackson State, transferred with him, and he was only like a freshman or a sophomore. His son was really good. They went like third. I think they went 12-1. In his third season, they won at least like I think four games more every season or 5 games more every season because they were garbage when Deion Sanders got there. Jackson State won 1 or 2 games a season.
You got to watch the video where he first meets the team for the first time, and he tells them right off the bat. A bunch of them may want to go check out that transfer portal because they won't necessarily be kept there.
Yeah, but you got to watch the documentary. The documentary, it was about his third season. It's called Coach Prime on Amazon Prime. It's kind of funny. It's called Coach Prime on Amazon Prime Video, and it's like a 4-part deal, and each one are about an hour, and it chronicles the last season that he had. Nobody knew he was going to get the Colorado head coaching job, but this was like a couple. Maybe like a couple months ago, they did the thing, and it's on Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it. It's fascinating how like he talks to the players, and he has like he goes into like prime time mode, like he goes with the Cowboys, and he puts his shades on and walks in there and recruits players.
I guess Jackson State didn't. I guess he was supposed to share some of the ticket revenue for Jackson State. And it sounded, at least according to him, it sounded like he didn't see any of that money. And then with the Colorado Buffaloes, they really rolled out the red carpet for Deion Sanders. I mean, I think they realized.
Look what he did at a school that was terrible before he got there, and he was getting good recruits, and they're in like the part of the what do they call that, the H something or other, the black colleges. Right. because everybody that goes to those, there's like a number of schools that play against Jackson State, like Grambling, all these schools, and they're all 100% black students and black football players, all black colleges.
Yeah.
Because back in the
and I
day,
guess
that's
Colorado
the only opportunities they got, and like a lot of the black players would only get opportunities at the all black colleges back in like the 60s, 70s, 80s.
I hope Deion Sanders is really successful at the Colorado Buffaloes. I think he will be, and
That's what everybody thinks on sports talk radio.
I think it's going to open up other doors for other black coaches.
But you know what's going to happen is if he makes Colorado good, it's going to make Oregon and Washington and USC probably not as good because if he's already getting a 5-star recruit to decommit from a bigger school that has a more tradition about football and go to hits, because Colorado hasn't been relevant for like I don't even know, since maybe Cordell Stewart,
right?
Like 20 years ago, or something, or over 25 years ago.
My brother's been a Colorado Buffalo college football fan longer than me. I just became one when Deion Sanders took over the head coaching thing.
Yeah, Cordell Stewart was in the mid-90s. He played.
Yeah, I got to get me some Colorado Buffalo gear to start wearing because I just became a fan of the Colorado Buffaloes, mainly because Deion Sanders took over.
Yeah, Deion Sanders is a nice guy, too. He's really charismatic and engaging, and you can see it. It's like when he talks, and that's how he brings kids in because they're like, this guy was not just a good coach. He was a legit Hall of Fame, one of the most exciting players to watch in football, period.
He's
like
got
Deion Sanders would lock people down, and then he would intercept the ball and do some moves, and then he would do the primetime high step in the dance when he scored.
He's got an awesome social media presence, which his son helps him out with. Handles a lot of the social media.
And his son's a good quarterback too. I think his son. Well, I don't know how he'll do at Colorado, but he should be. He should improve at least. He should be at least as good as he was with Jackson State. I don't think he'll get any better because he's playing against better competition.
Right.
Of course. Well, it's gonna be a step up in competition.
And he's still looking at other quarterbacks too. Deion Sanders is.
Yeah.
And he said he's looking for a quarterback, of course, with a lot of good character, a lot of good hardworking qualities. Mm-hmm. But he also said he wouldn't mind finding one that's been coached by a dad, like a coach's son. He wouldn't mind finding a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, because Deion Sanders coached I think he coached his freaking son too. Well, he did at Jackson State for I think at least 1 year. I don't remember because his son was there. Because what was weird with Jackson State, they were one of the schools a couple of years ago that they canceled their. Remember when the pandemic was really bad and schools were canceling football? Remember?
Yeah.
And then that was when Harvard. I think Harvard canceled all their fall sports for 4 months, and they didn't start them up until later in the year that year. Or next year, the following year, 6 months later, and then that was when Stanford, because of the pandemic and their school was hurting, they canceled wrestling permanently.
If I remember reading the Colorado Buffalo schedule, the first game I think is with TCU, which is a hell of an appointment to take on your first game.
Yeah, but I don't know if the TCU quarterback is still going to be there or not. I'd have to. Right. He was good though.
But isn't that wild?
He showed it.
That's wild.
The championship.
That's why that blows me away that's the first team they're going to face.
They're not the championship, but the game before. The championship game was a joke. Right. The college. Well, it was 60. It was 62-7 or some crap.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, they were already down by 20 in the second quarter or something.
Yeah. Before the Super Bowl started, I had a feeling it was going to be a close game.
I knew it was going to be close too.
Yeah, I thought
I was predicting the wrong score. Yeah. I thought it was going to be a 3-point win by the opposite. I thought it was going to be a 3-point win by the Eagles. I thought it was going to be 26-23, but it ended up being 38-35 Kansas City. I
about died when the Eagles quarterback fumbled the ball and then the Chiefs ran it for a touchdown.
Yeah, other than that one play, he played really good. Other than that one play,
I was like,
because he had more yards and more touchdowns than Mahomes.
Yeah, isn't that
And
wild?
everybody was touting Mahomes. Mahomes might be the GOAT. If he wins the Super Bowl, he might be the next Tom Brady or even better. I'm like, well, Jalen Hurts played better than freaking other than that fumble.
I can't
He
believe
had he
what
had two more touchdowns, I think.
I can't believe what Terry Bradshaw said to the head coach of the Chiefs. He's talking about you've been doing this for a long time. You might be thinking about hanging this up, and the head coach of the Chiefs said, "Well, let's enjoy this one first before we even talk about
Yeah,
that."
but they're talking about if like right after the game, like 3 hours after the game, I was driving home um from work, and they were talking about this could be the last hurrah for Andy Reid. And
Right. I, I
they're thinking he might retire.
I wish Terry Bradshaw didn't put him on the spot like that.
No, but he
Here,
doesn't have anything else to accomplish.
right.
He's been to like what 4 Super Bowls,
No,
one, two.
I just wish Terry Bradshaw didn't put him on the spot like that. Andy Reid deserves to enjoy, you know, having the. But I guess you have to ask the hard questions right after a win like that.
Yeah, I mean, because he's getting up there. He's like in his mid 60s. Andy Reid.
Oh wow.
So it's like at one point you got to just like you look at like Pete Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
That
Oh
guy's
yeah,
damn. That guy's 70, 70 or
70
71
something,
years
right?
old.
But he doesn't act it.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He still moves well. Like when he see a good play done, he'll be running down the sidelines,
Right.
like jumping up and down, fist pumping.
All I can think of is Pete Carroll must really like the. It's a lot of work being a head coach, especially at the
Yeah.
pro level. You gotta love it. You can't have that kind of work and not really love it.
Yeah, and he's only since he moved to Seattle, I think they've only had one losing season.
Oh, there you go.
I think because I'd have to look at it. I think they've won most of their seasons. They've won at least 10 games and some 11, 12, 13. That was only playing 16 games. And then but I think this one they went, didn't they go 8-9 and make the playoffs? I think they went 8-9.
Right.
Because what it was they were playing a game. I was watching to my mom going over to do laundry, and then the Lions beat Green Bay is how Seahawks got in too, because the Seahawks had to win and the Lions had to beat Green Bay. So the Lions played really tough against Green Bay, beat them, and then the Seahawks fans like thanks, and the players thanked the Lions for helping them out.
There you go. And you know what's funny is after I watched Hard Knocks on the Detroit Lions Hard Knocks.
Yeah, the HBO show.
Yeah, that's when I became
like an all access.
Yeah, that's what made me become a Lions fan this past year.
Well, the Lions had their best season in probably 6 or 7 years, 8 years.
Yeah,
because the last time they were any good was when they had Charles Johnson and Stafford. When they won like 10 or 11 games or whatever the hell that was.
When I look at Barry Sanders, I've never seen
Flower.
When I look at Barry Sanders, I never seen any kind of running back that's ever like him.
No, but you look at it though and you go, how didn't the Lions ever do good? There was like a 3-year or 4-year stretch, I think, maybe 4 years. They had a really good wide receiver, and then they had Barry Sanders, who was unbelievable with the ball in his hands. And I'm like, well, right. How can they win? Because they had a shitty quarterback. Their defense sucked. No, their offensive line couldn't block half the time for Barry Sanders. It's like Barry Sanders would. That's why one reason why Barry Sanders was always dancing around in the backfield a lot of the time, because his offensive line couldn't block worth a damn. And he was about the only running back that could dance around for like half the time for like 5 or 10 seconds in the backfield, and then break like a long 60, 80-yard run.
Yeah,
because they didn't want to put offensive line in front of him. That's why one reason why he retired, and he wanted to go out too. But the last I think few years they had a fullback that they used once in a while, like Corey Schlesinger. They'd put an I formation, but they were running the what do they call the air raid offense?
There you go.
Or no, I think it was either the air raid or the run and shoot, because they would always have a one back set. And if you look at it, Barry Sanders for like his first maybe 5 years of his career, they didn't even use a freaking fullback, and he was still gaining 2,000, like 1,500 yards, 1,600 yards,
Yeah,
getting like 15 touchdowns a season.
one of the things I like that the Philadelphia Eagles are doing is they go for it a lot, even on fourth down.
Mm-hmm. But that is dicey though. You could cost yourself a freaking win by going for it.
And
you
then
look
they
at
do
some teams.
Yeah, and then the other thing they do, they throw it a lot on first down, so they like passing it a lot.
And they run it a good amount, because if you look at the Super Bowl, I watched the highlights. Freaking Hurts had 3 rushing touchdowns. Some were short, of course. Some were like under 5. Like one, I think, well, at least one of them was 1 yard or something, or 3 yards, or
yeah.
But my team's gonna be a mess. Like, I don't even know. I don't want to lose Jacobs, because if we lose Jacobs, our team's gonna be total shit.
Yeah.
I mean, because Jacobs had like over 1,600 yards and I think 12 or 13 touchdowns, and he single-handedly tore up the Seahawks. I was at that game when he had like 300 total yards, the most total yards a Raiders ever had. He had an 86-yard run. People thought, "Oh, we can't." The Seahawks fans were bitching. We can't stop Jacobs. And I go, "Well, the Raiders know that, and they're going to keep pounding him, because he got like 30 carries or something, or like 33 carries that game, or something like that." And the Seahawks fans were like, "Oh, our defense sucked. We're giving up." And I go, "Jacobs have been running over people every game."
I wonder what the Bills are going to do to overcome the hump. I wonder what the Bengals are going to do and what the Bills are going to do.
The Bills look like shit their last game they played to get in the snow. I thought the Bills would put up would be better than that. They look like garbage.
I wonder what the Buffalo Bills are going to do to improve for next year, and then same thing with the Bengals. I wonder
they're going to have to get probably, I would guess, to improve them. I don't know what they would go for. Maybe a cornerback, or get another complimentary wide receiver to Diggs, because Diggs is amazing. He probably had like 1,400 yards, but they don't really have a good. You need a good like slot receiver.
Yeah, I didn't like it when what's his name went to the Bills. That rusher. He left Denver and went to the Buffalo Bills.
I don't know. You mean Mac? No, not Mac.
What is his name?
Bills roster.
He left the Denver Broncos and went to the Buffalo Bills. He's a rusher.
Let me see. I'm looking at their roster currently.
Yeah, I know his name.
He's
a former Denver Bronco that rushed the quarterback.
What was he, a defensive lineman or a linebacker?
Oh, maybe it was Ware. Was Ware a former Bronco?
Well, that was probably years ago. I'm looking at their current roster, and they got like, I gotta start naming them if you want. It's like Eli Anku, Tywan Jones, Jamison Crowder, Ed Oliver, Case Keenum, their backup quarterback, Jordan Poyer, Dane Jackson, Daryl Dodson, Ryan Bates, Naheem Hines, Reed Ferguson, Devin Singletary is one of the running backs, Khalil Shakur is the wide receiver, Balin Spector, Christian Benford, Stephon Diggs is their best wide receiver, Damar Hamlin, the guy that almost died.
Right.
I don't think he should even play anymore. Myself, I don't know. Yeah, and then Isaiah McKenzie, Dawson Knox, Terrell Bernard, Tyron Johnson, Sam Martin, their punter, Bobby Hart, Josh Allen, Matt Barkley's one of their quarterbacks, Termaine Edmund, Jaquan Johnson, Mitch Morris, Matt Milano, Trey Davius White, Deion Dawkins, Carlos Basham Jr., Rogers Stafford, James Cook, Gregory Rousseau, Ike Bottinger, I think, as I said, and then Tyler Bass and Cyron Neal. I don't know if that's all their roster, but that's like most of it.
Yeah, it might be Ware. Ware might be the guy I'm thinking of.
Ware, but Ware was not. Well, I think he played. You're talking about not the line. You're talking about the lineman.
Yeah. What? Anyways, I can't remember his
He's
name.
not on the roster now, but this was like years ago.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
okay.
probably 4 or 5 years ago or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This guy.
DeMarcus Ware.
Yeah, this guy wouldn't have been on
He
it.
played for the Cowboys. DeMarcus Ware, I believe,
Oh,
too.
that's right. Ware played for the Cowboys.
He played for the Cowboys for probably like 8 years or something, 9 years.
Anyways, it was the Denver Broncos leading pass rusher that went to the Buffalo Bills, and he did improve their defense a lot.
I mean, you're not talking about Von Miller.
But that's who I'm talking about. Yeah, Von Miller.
Because DeMarcus Ware played for the Cowboys, and I think he played for like one other team. But DeMarcus Ware was really good too.
Von Miller's the name I needed.
Von Miller's he's going to go in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Von. I was shocked that he left Denver.
He had like 8 or 9 really good years.
I was really shocked that he left Denver, but you know what I think he saw in the Buffalo Bills was another chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I don't think Von Miller ever went to a Super Bowl. He never did.
Didn't he with the Broncos, I think?
Oh, maybe he did with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I think he did with the Broncos. But anyways, it's interesting that he saw the writing on. Well, it's interesting that he saw the writing on the wall.
Lost one with Peyton Manning.
Yeah. See, I think the Broncos would have had a different season if he had stayed on the Broncos. But I think he wanted to show he could win another Super Bowl title with another team. I think.
Look up. Let me see here. P.T. Did Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl with the Broncos?
Yeah, he sure did.
Peyton Manning. Let me see here.
I remember when the Colts beat the Bears in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. That was fun.
And his nickname, by the way, it was done by the coach that got fired from the Raiders. Not this season, but in the middle of last season, the season before that. John Gruden gave him the name the Sheriff.
There you go.
But that's a cool name.
The Sheriff. I think I still look at how they got rid of Gruden was still really suspicious because I think John Gruden's a hell of a coach, and it's so sad. Yeah. Nowadays we worry so much about image. I think companies do too, and I guess you could view the NFL as a big company.
Yeah, kind of look when because here's like it's his accolades. You want to know all his accolades? Peyton Manning, 14-time Pro Bowl, 7-time All-Pro, 2-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time NEA MVP, Associated Press 5-time MVP, in 2012 AP Comeback Player of the Year, the Burt Bell Award. Freaking, he's got all these. You have Walter Payton Man of the Year one time in 2005.
Yeah.
NFLPA Allen something Ruther Award. 3-time Sports. SN Player of the Year. 4-time PFW Offensive Player of the Year.
When I compare John Elway and Peyton Manning, they're both like having. Not only are they playing in a game, it's almost like having another coach actually being a player.
Peyton Manning was a better. Peyton Manning actually knew how to read the defense better.
I actually wish Peyton Manning had gone into coaching instead of the round.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to. He does those with his brother. He does those Manning casts for Monday Night Football. Have you ever watched one of those? Pretty funny. They're commentating on it while the game is going. And they're like, "Ooh," like there was a bad injury in one game. And they're like, "Ooh," and then Peyton Manning was like. And then his brother kept talking, and Peyton Manning was like kind of shook up because it was a gruesome looking injury.
Right.
And then Peyton Manning had a gruesome. I think he had that nerve thing in his neck where he had like 3 surgeries. Because when he was with the Broncos, he still had 2 fingers numb on a throwing hand.
I love it when you would hear Manning say stuff like, "This is what I would have called" instead of what they ran.
Yeah, well, he did audibles a lot at the line. He they gave him free reign to they would give him a play usually, I think, but then he would change it a lot and call his own play because he was like a coach of doing. And then like John Elway wasn't that good at like directing the team. I mean, he was good at like throwing and like comebacks and running the ball, but he didn't like call his own plays all the time or a lot of the time.
Right.
He got the play from the coach, but John Elway was a better scrambler, of course. But I think Peyton Manning was the mentally, because Peyton Manning only had like an average arm, and he couldn't move worth a damn. But he what John Gruden said and other people said, he could decipher information faster than any player in the whole history. Like he could know within like a half a second what the defense was going to freaking do. And then when he was on, he was the best quarterback going, I think, when he was on. But he had some hit and miss days, and like some people think that Aaron Rodgers has the best arm talent and shit. But I go take Devontae Adams off his team, and he looked average.
I wonder if
because Devontae Adams is that good. You can tell how good Devontae Adams was. You take him off Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers looks mediocre.
Yeah, I wonder if
he looks average.
I wonder if Aaron Rodgers is going to still stay with Green Bay.
I don't know, because he's probably going to go to a different team. But the problem is, some people think Devontae Adams has been lobbying, trying to get him to go to the Raiders. But I go, I don't want him because he's only going to be there like 1 or 2 years and gone already.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I mean? It may be cool to try to win immediately, but if we don't win immediately, he's only going to. It's like 39 years old, I think. We don't. I want a quarterback that can be there for at least probably 5-6 years.
I tell you, the weirdest thing I've ever saw in sports, Brett, was when now this is pro baseball, when the Marlins won the World Series, they turned around the next year and broke up that whole team. Yeah, well, I've never seen anyone do that. I've never seen someone win a World Series and then break up.
You know why? Because they couldn't afford to keep a lot of their players.
Yeah, but isn't that crazy? And then the weirdest thing I saw,
they had like Craig Counsell on that freaking team, I think.
Now the weirdest
they had that big hit in one of the games.
The weirdest thing I saw, the weirdest thing I saw in pro football is when the Baltimore Ravens won the Super Bowl, and then they told their starting quarterback they were not keeping him next year,
or that they were trading Flacco.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? No, it wasn't Flacco. It was was it Flacco?
Dilfer. I think
Dilfer. Oh yeah, Trent Dilfer.
How terrible is that?
Yeah, I have some Trent Dilfer rookie cards.
Oh, and you know what? Was
from like the mid '90s.
Well, you know how the team gets together, like they all get dressed up an elegant evening when they open up their Super Bowl rings.
Yeah.
It was really weird. The Baltimore
They're freaking Ravens, ridiculous Super Bowl rings now. They're way over the top.
Well, the Baltimore Ravens owner is introducing Trent Dilfer, but as he's introducing him to get his Super Bowl ring, he's also saying that he's going to be a former Raven soon, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, how awkward is that to get your Super Bowl ring knowing that next year you're going to be playing probably somewhere else? Yeah,
and then what it is, have you seen like Tom Brady posted a picture on like social media of all his freaking rings on 7 fingers. And the crazy thing is when he was getting the ones with not with Tampa Bay, but the ones with New England, 6 with New England, every time they had to make a Super Bowl ring to where it had more trophies on it, so the ring got slightly bigger every damn time.
Right. Well,
and then it was like this big, dude. His ring was like, the last one was like, it was like 1.5 inches in diameter or some crap, because it had all the 7 like trophies on it, or 6 trophies they won for New England.
Can you imagine the Patriots fan when Tom went to the Buccaneers and then won a Super Bowl right off the bat?
They were pissed. Well, they already had. My thing is they're getting greedy because they've had enough Super Bowl wins to last them forever.
Right.
Because you look at it, people go, "Oh, well, I'm so bummed out. We didn't make the Super Bowl." I go, "Damn, we've already got 6 of them."
Right, there you go.
You know, it's like my team hasn't won one since 1984.
Wow.
And that was when they had Marcus Allen and Howie Long and Jim Plunkett, and I think they may have had Mike Haynes, one of their really good defensive backs. And then they had
my brother liked the player that was nicknamed the Snake, Kenny Stabler.
Yeah, and then they had their tight end was Todd Christensen.
There you go.
And he had like back-to-back like 1,000-yard receiving years, like I think it was, and he was at the time the best Raiders tight end. But then Waller, the first 2 years he was with Waller, he had with the Raiders, he had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. So he was the first one to do it since Christensen.
Yeah, that silver and black looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It's a coolest looking logo, but it's hard to duplicate on like some items. Like if you put them on socks,
right?
like the logo, and you want to buy some Raiders. The logo looks kind of cheesy because it's so detailed. You can't put all the detail in it.
Right.
Stitching. Because if you look at it, the Raiders got the most detailed logo in the NFL. It's intricate. Hi, Harvey.
What's up?
Yeah,
That's it.
but yeah, so like the Raiders, they're keeping their unis because I remember there was rumors going around when they first moved to Vegas. Oh, they're going to change their unis. There's some dumb idiots, and I go, they're not going to change their unis. They do that. A lot of fans would disown them.
Right.
They got one of the classic uniforms, just like Green Bay's never changing their uniforms. The Browns are probably never going to do it.
What I think's wild
Orange
is
and
how
turd brown.
I think what's wild is how big Raider Nation is, and also how big Cowboy Nation is.
Yeah, but here's one though. I'll tell you right now, the Raiders are more diehard fans than the freaking Cowboys.
Right. Right.
The Cowboys fans are whiners and bitchers. They are. They almost like 90% of them think they're gonna win like 12 games every damn year.
Well,
the 13
expectations are always really high, and I used to laugh when they call them America's team. That always cracked me up.
But I can tell you for experience. I went to the Raiders Seahawks game. About 40% of the stadium was Raiders fans. No shit and lie. I always remember we were getting food to eat, just walking around the stadium and shit. We saw freaking Raiders fans all the time. They're just everywhere. We were tailgating with the lady, my brother knows, for like probably 45 minutes before we actually went into the stadium. We went into the stadium about an hour and a half before the game. And then we tailgated with this lady, and then tailgating with us were other Raiders fans. I wasn't the only one. There was like a few other Raiders fans that stopped by and hung out for a little while, and we didn't know. They just came and met us. And then one of the guys that was tailgating there, he was a Seahawks fan just like me, like my brother. And then his brother was a Raiders fan also. So I was like, well, sweet. And then we saw Raiders fans walking up and down there because you can tailgate on certain parts of like these back roads by Seahawks Stadium, but you can't tailgate actually on the premises because they don't allow it. But people tailgating, this tailgating thing had like, I did a short video of it. They had biscuits and gravy and like these little chicken bites, and they had quiche, and then they had one of those little portable fire pits, like there was probably about this big in diameter and about probably 2 feet tall, and it had like handles on it. It said 12, had like the 12s carved on each side, and then they had like 2 or 3 logs in there like burning.
Wow.
Because it was like 40. It wasn't super cold. It was like 45 degrees. That lady got there like early ass in the morning, like 8 in the morning or some shit. My brother did that a few times at games. He got there like 7 in the morning at the Seahawks games. And they bring like a camp stove. And one time my brother made a bunch of breakfast burritos the night before. He made like 8 or 10 breakfast burritos. And then he bring his grill, and they heated him up on his camping grill because he has one of those Camp Chef grills.
Now that's one of the things NFL. That's one of the things NFL fans seem to really enjoy. The tailgating's really it's that way in college.
College too. College even more diehard. Like you see that. Well, you see people at the Seahawks games that bring like a motor home or their truck with a camper on it, and they camp out for like the night before.
There you go.
But they're just like diehard. Like in what do they call that game? The Iron Bowl.
Right.
It's the Auburn versus Alabama, and it's like one of the biggest games in college every year. Even though it's not even the national championship, like and people like bring their trailers and their motorhomes and their truck campers and get there like a week before the game. Even they showed a picture driving somewhere in like wherever it is, like Alabama one year. And there was a row of like people going to the game for like a mile.
Wow.
A row of cars. It's like there must have been like maybe 20 cars, 25 cars in like a mile, just like, or maybe even more. And they were all like truck campers, motorhomes, trailers. And you can get right on there. Just when I went to the Raiders game with my dad in 2018 in Oakland, that was right when they announced, I think that same year they announced they were going to start building the stadium. That would be I think that was maybe their last season in Oakland. I can't remember what it was, but I went there and I go, I want to go to, I've never been to a Raiders game. And I go, I want to go to Oakland before they leave, go see a Raiders game in Oakland before they leave. So we went there. Oh my God, there must have been, I don't even know. There must have been, the whole parking lot was full, and then it probably held maybe like 400 cars, 500 cars. The whole parking lot was full of tailgaters. it was pouring down raining. They had like the back of their trucks, the back of their SUVs open, and then like their pickup trucks, they had like canopies on them, and then they had like portable pop up like those little like easy ups or whatever they're called, or those fold out canopies, that you use, and they had music going. They were grilling. They were like grilling and like drinking beer and soda and like having a good old time.
That's cool.
And they're diehard, yeah. The eye of the storm went to your home around Auckland. To your home, you mean? Have a look at on net soon. Not sun up yet. Second flood in 2 weeks in middle of summer. Wow. Because like Australia and New Zealand are middle of summer.
Yeah, I want to say
or late summer now.
I want to say the middle of. We had this huge windstorm, and it knocked down two large.
I think 3 weeks.
Yeah, we had this huge windstorm happen not that long ago, and it knocked down two really large trees that collapsed on our backyard fence.
What'd be good to do, Halfwit? Get a hang glider, go up to like about 100-foot cliff and hang glide right off it. You would get some gnarly ass speed.
Oh yeah.
You'd probably get going probably about 60, 70 miles an hour.
Because Halfwit's in New Zealand, right? Oh, I spent a year in Auckland, New Zealand. Oh wow.
He's calling you JR.
But I think he's in a
Who shot JR?
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's my nickname, JR. That's what.
Yeah, but who shot? Remember who shot JR on from Dallas? My mom and dad watched that one. It was like one of the biggest TV events in history.
My mom. It
was like in the 80s sometime, like 84.
Introduced me when I was a freshman in high school. My mom introduced me to this priest as JR instead of John. And she goes, "This is my son JR." And the priest was from Ireland, and I guess they showed Dallas in Ireland, the show Dallas. He goes, "Oh, you're the one that got shot," and I started laughing because I didn't know they showed Dallas in Ireland.
Yeah, but there's like that one Who Shot JR. It was just like a promo for that episode.
So I think Halfwit is in a different part of New Zealand. He said he lived in that one place for just
he's in oh geez, where is he? He's in I can't remember. He's up kind of rural because there's not very many houses around him. He's like the neighbor is probably like I don't know, quarter of a mile, half a mile away.
He said the wind gust is so bad that if he held up an umbrella, he would get a.
He goes, I just hold umbrella on a skateboard. Would get a speeding ticket down the highway.
That's wild.
You could do that.
South. Oh, that's how far he is from that part of New Zealand. Wow.
Yeah, that's far. But New Zealand isn't really that big. New Zealand's like maybe a third the size of Australia.
Well, New Zealand, Australia, and Japan, since they're all islands, things are more expensive. And same thing with Hawaii. Things are more expensive. Mm-hmm. You have to ship it there to an island.
Yeah, you have to fly it there.
Yeah, that's wild.
Or you can boat it over, but it'd take like a long time.
You know what I dig about New Zealand? I don't hear much about crime in New Zealand compared to other places. New Zealand, almost crimeless.
Yeah.
Japan's kind of that way. It's almost crimeless as well.
Mm-hmm. One thing that's good about New Zealand, though, is like, we were talking about it on Halfway Stream like maybe a week and a half ago or something about he went to I go, do you ever go to that mountain? I can't remember what the mountain's called he lives by, but he lives like maybe like a 15-minute drive from it or something.
Right.
And then I go, do you ever go to that resort? And I looked at the resort and I was like looking at it and they got a house with like so many rooms and you can stay there and then you can go skiing and then they serve like lunch and breakfast and dinner at the restaurant. And then they have a bar up there. Oh, yeah, Mount Taranaki is what's called, Taranaki. Yeah, and I was looking at it, I go, that place looks pretty cool. There's like some house they call it up there that it's like a big like mansion. It's probably like a 10,000 square foot mansion.
Wow.
And then you can rent a room. It's like $200 think it's like 200 and something dollars a night,
I want to say they filmed
New
parts.
Zealand dollar.
They filmed Lord of the Rings, a lot of Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
in New Zealand.
What's that guy's name that did it?
That's cool.
You know what I'm talking about? The guy with the beard and Jackson, right. Peter Jackson.
Well, you know the guy that played the king was supposed to be the king. That actor would go fishing during in between cuts of Lord of the Rings. He would actually go fishing.
A 10-minute drive, yeah, and 30-minute walk to the ski field. But there's like a small ski resort up there.
Halfwit, is there awesome trout fishing there? Because this one guy from Lord of the Rings, in between cuts, would go. The guy that would play the next king to be in Lord of the Rings.
I can't. By the way, if nobody's ever ate trout.
Yeah,
pretty darn good.
I wonder if there's any trout fishing going on.
I used to eat trout when I was a kid because we used to go trout fishing, and then my best friend's dad sometimes goes trout fishing and gets trout, and then they're not very big. I mean, most trout you get are like about that long.
Right.
It's just like one meal. If you have like a side with it or two sides, you get probably about 6 ounces of 7 ounces of fish.
Oh, the Hobbit town was only some from him, north of him.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. But anyways, I laughed that this actor in between cuts would do fishing because there was a place not too far to go fishing. And in between takes, he would run and go. Oh, he said, yes, rainbow and brown trout. You need a license to catch. Yeah. I'm sure that
brown trout kind of have like rainbow. They have like a rainbow on the side. Brown trout kind of have like a speckled thing on the side.
I bet it tastes really good. You fry that trout up. Oh my God!
You know what the best way to do it is cook it on a smoker.
Oh, there you go. Smoke.
Like grill it on a smoker, like 450.
Oh my God!
And then all you got to do is just do that, and then what you do. The easiest way to cook trout is you just you gut it.
Right.
You gut it and take all the guts out. You just slice it down from the tail up to the base of the head.
Right.
And then you chop the head off and you gut it out. And then you leave it whole. And what you do is a way to get all the bones out. My veteran dad told me this. You bend the tail down and then kind of peel up the bone right by the tail, and you just slowly pull up like this, and it takes like 95% of the bones out.
Oh, cool.
And then so you may find 1 or 2 bones, and that's it. And then take the one, and then you flip it over and do the same thing. But you only get maybe about, depends, probably like 5 to 7 ounces of meat.
So you probably
want, because most trout are, like.
So you probably
10 to 12 inches long, or 8 to 12 inches long.
So to make it a meal, you probably would want to eat 2 or 3 trout.
Yeah, well, you don't need to. Normally, if you're eating by yourself, you probably have to have 2, just the fish. But if you're eating like sides with it, you're having a vegetable and like a rice, or a vegetable and a pasta, or a vegetable and whatever else, you would just have the fish and the 2 sides, and it'd be a good meal.
Yeah, there you go. That sounds like that'd be a good meal.
Yeah, but it's good, and then so yeah, you can also pan fry it. You can pan fry the trout too, where you flour it and pan fry it.
Man, does that sound?
But it's good stuff. Like I've only had rainbow trout, which that's more abundant. You can find like some other trouts around here, but there's a lot more rainbow trout around here, anyways, in Washington. And you can get them out of like little lakes around here. The ones that are so small that you can't even have motorized boats on.
So how far are you from national parks there, Brett?
I could go to, I'm about an hour away from Mount Rainier National Park.
Wow.
And if you've ever seen Mount Rainier, it's one of the most beautiful mountains in the history of the world. I'm not kidding. I'm not saying because I'm from Washington. I live in Washington, but it's in one of the most beautiful mountains ever. Mount Rainier is like 14,000 something feet too.
So when's the last time you got to go there?
I went like close to it. I went like right up to the entrance of it, but it was like closed at the time.
Oh, gotcha.
But you can go, well, and then you have to pay. You have to pay like $10 or $20 to go in there.
Well,
because all the national parks make you pay a fee anymore to use them.
I pay about $7. It's $7 a carload of people, and you
Mhm.
can go through Brown County State Park.
But
But I'm sure it'd
I
be
went
worth.
to the lake that's right. It's
I,
like about maybe a couple miles from that freaking place, and it's beautiful. You can see Mount Rainier, and I went with one of my neighbors like maybe 5.5 years ago. We went up there, and there's like a secluded lake, and there's a boat launch right there, and we saw people like inner tubing behind a boat down the lake.
oh,
We walked on the sand for like maybe an hour, a couple hours. Then we went up to this little, kind of crazy. We went up to this little shack right there. And it's a burger shack. It's like literally like a shack. It looks like a little shack out in the middle of a grassy knoll,
wow.
like literally. And then we went into the mountaineering shop, like the winter clothes mountaineering shop. There's one of those. They have like Patagonia, which is expensive shit. Patagonia, a
Right.
jacket could be like 300, 400, $500.
Yeah,
And they
that's
had all the mountaineering stuff, like the hiking poles. They had the crampons, the what do they call those things, the ice pick.
right.
They had
Right.
one of those, and they had all the heavy duty winter gear, like the jackets that are fully waterproof, and the snow pants,
So,
and the heavy duty boots.
so to say the name of the place that you're an hour away from,
Mount Rainier National
and and then,
Park.
and then what's the other place that you could go to?
Let me see. I could look. Oh God, well, what's the city called? I'll go Mount
Because
Rainier.
in Seattle, I imagine there's a lot of outdoor places you can go to in Seattle.
There's a small, really like a town up there, Mount Rainier. I can't remember what it's called. Nation
Because see,
National.
in Colorado, there's lots of different outdoor places you can go to in Colorado. But I had some
Yeah.
friends that went and lived in Seattle, and they said they were outdoors a lot of the time.
I'm trying to find what city is right before the Mount Rainier National Park. It's like 2 miles away or something. Trying to
Yeah,
think what.
I had some friends that lived in Seattle, and they were outdoors all the time. They
Yeah,
loved
man. Yeah, there's a lot of hiking places around here. I can get to probably in about 40 minutes and go hiking. I
it. Oh
mean,
wow,
like legit, like right up a small mountain.
that's really cool.
I went there when I was in, I think I was fourth. Yeah, I was fourth grade in Cub Scouts. We climbed Tiger Mountain. It's like 2,000 something feet high.
Yeah, and 40 minutes away ain't bad.
Yeah, and then my mom goes hiking like probably 2 or 3 times a year every summer. And then she bought like probably a month and a half ago. She bought some snowshoes. They were like cheap. They were mispriced, so she got them for like half price. But they're snowshoes because my
Oh,
mom goes snowshoeing like once or twice every year.
oh, that's cool.
And so she bought them, and I don't even know anything about snowshoes, but they're the not the wood ones. They're the lightweight aluminum ones that have
Oh,
like the thing where you clamp your boot in.
right.
You're like snow boot, or your waterproof like
Those
insulated boot.
those are gonna
Yeah, I'm
last.
trying to think what the town is called though. Um,
Those those snowshoes are gonna last her forever.
yeah, I'm looking at what's the place called? It's the town that's by. I need to look at it. The town. That one doesn't show it. Let me see here. The town that's by Mount Rainier. The Squally Ice Cliff. There's an ice cliff down a little ways away.
It's so funny. We got people on our YouTube community. We got Halfwood in Israel, in New Zealand,
Yeah.
and there's plenty of outdoor places there. And then we got our Australian friends, Ellie
Mhm.
and Adrian, and the O Show. Australia's nothing
Yep.
but outdoors.
And there's a by the way, the town I'm thinking of is a little ways away. It's probably like I don't even know, like 10 minutes away from like Mount Rainier. Is
And then
It's called Elby.
we got our
My my,
fellow.
my, my, my brother goes wheeling out there, Elby Hills. There's like an ORV park you can take like off road, like ATV side by side pickups and SUVs that are built.
Halfwood says there's 11 districts in the state of emergency, three-fourths
Wow.
north of the island. Wow,
It's like heavy rain and heavy wind.
that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've seen heavy rain and heavy wind here. Like I remember, I've seen flooded like a few times here.
Oh man, the and last time I heard of New Zealand
Let's go
being
get
in the
some
news,
milk.
it was because of a flood. They also sometimes have floods in Peru. They
Mm-hmm.
don't have. So
I'll be back.
I'm assuming floods don't. Am I right in saying this? Do floods happen very often? Floods don't really happen very often in New Zealand, or am I wrong about that? I mean, last time I heard of a major disaster was a flood in New Zealand. So I wonder if that means they're starting to happen more often, or I wonder if New Zealand's starting to get uh, not so good weather often. I don't know if I'm right about that. But it's so wild. We got YouTube friends that are from the Philippines that there's nothing but nature outside there. And then we got some YouTube friends that want to go visit Thailand, and that's nothing but
Yeah,
nature.
we got them all over. Well, I got friends all over the one, not every country because there's like a lot of countries, but I have them on every continent, I think.
Yeah, and then there's friends that are working in Hong Kong.
Yeah, I have a. Well, she's not living there currently, but she's Rebecca LaPrance. I don't know if you know her. I met her on Freelancing Tips for Beginners by Christy Angelo's stream.
Cool.
Probably over like a little over a year and a half ago, maybe. And she's living in England, but she's originally from the Congo.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And the Congo is known for their awesome rainforest.
That's super.
You know, they got that rainforest where they have like wild chimpanzees and shit. You know, I'm talking about like chimps
Oh,
or
when I was
they still have like hundreds of them out there.
when I was in Cape Town, South Africa, we went to this lighthouse that had nothing but wild baboons walking around. That was
Like they have I think it's chimpanzees or monkeys. It's either one of the two. Like you can
they
look
had
at the Congo.
they
I'll
had
show
a
you.
major flooding in February that covered some of the river floods on home.
Congo rainforest is no joke. It's pretty amazing. Yeah,
Oh
they
wow!
have like wild gorillas
Oh,
in
in
the
the Congo.
Congo is what it is. They have like wild gorillas and apes.
Wow.
Yeah, it says known as the lungs of Africa. The Congo Basin, the largest carbon sink in the world, absorbing more carbon than the Amazon.
Then that
Spanning
has
across six countries, its rainforest provides food security, an essential lifeline for indigenous and local populations, and serves as a critical habitat for endangered species. Yeah,
so it's a large jungle, pretty much.
yeah, it's a rainforest, is what they call it.
Wow.
Yeah, and the Congo rainforest is known for its high level of biodiversity, including more than 600 tree species and 10,000 animal species.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you look at that, like you could probably go there every year for like months and never see all the animals that live there.
That's
You know,
crazy.
10,000 animal species,
Holy,
like living beings.
that's a lot of animals.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna try to. It's pretty dope. It's like that movie. What's that movie? You know what I'm talking about the apes in the Congo.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It's kind of a Hollywood version of the
well,
movie.
yeah. It's not called Congo, is it?
It might be. It might be.
Congo movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, 95 movie. Yeah, about the Congo. It has Laura Linney, Tim Curry, Ernie Hudson. You know, Ernie Hudson was in geez. Wasn't he in Ghostbusters, Ernie Hudson?
But the news got boring watching
Ghostbusters.
now. That's funny.
Ernie Hudson was in Ghostbusters.
Halfwit said the news is so boring in New Zealand that he started watching Scooby.
Yeah, it probably is boring.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, blah. The news got boring watching
Well,
Scooby Doo.
sorry about that, Halfwit.
Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you?
That's
I don't know the rest of it.
That's
Kind of
pretty
speaking
funny.
of crazy stuff. When I was a little, you're older than I am, but when I was a little kid, what it was I saw was the Drunk Gamer. You know the Drunk Gamer. You probably seen him around a little bit, and he
Right.
he was streaming Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers video game on his freaking channel, and I go, "Oh man, I used to watch that television show as a kid when I was like 8 years old or something."
Speaking of
Cartoon.
Scooby Doo, I remember when they used some live actors and created the Scooby Doo movie. That was fun.
Wasn't as good.
Right, of course. Nothing's
Yeah, they had that. What's that dork's name? He hasn't done a movie really since then.
right.
You know what I'm talking about. It ruined his career.
Right. The one that played Screech, maybe
No, the one that played
it's a different actor, right?
The one that played Shaggy.
Right, Shaggy. Yeah.
I don't know. I can look up Scooby.
Yeah, you haven't seen that actor been in anything else.
Scooby Doo movie.
So maybe he got typecasted then really badly.
Oh, here it is. It's Scooby Doo the movie came out in 2012. Was an hour and 26 minutes. Freddie Prinze Jr. was one of the guys. Sarah Michelle Gellar. What I'm thinking of is Matthew Lillard. He was Shaggy Rogers.
Oh, that's funny.
It ruined his career. I don't know whatever. And then Isla Fisher was Mary Jane. That was before she was even really popular. And then Freddie Prinze Jr. played Fred Jones, and Sarah Michelle Gellar, who was on she was you know what's you know what I'm talking about, the movie that they did a movie in the early 90s, and she was the she played her other famous role. I can't even think of it. Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah, you know what's
TV.
funny? I think actors, if they practice and hone their craft, and then they probably got to have a really good agent to put them in the right projects. And as an actor, they got to choose the right projects to work on.
Here it is. It was Buffy the Vampire Slayer television show.
Right.
That's what she was most known for. That's what she really started getting popular. And she was also on that show Angel.
I guess Matt Damon turned down the lead character in Avatar, and now he's kicking himself. He wish he had played that.
Yeah, because I haven't seen the new one. I heard the new ones. The 3D effects are even better, they say, in the new one.
Oh yeah, I watched the new one. The second Avatar is awesome.
I mean, you gotta. There's no other way you can watch in 3D except the theater. Because there's no 3D TVs anymore. They got defunct probably like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, the second Avatar is really cool.
It's pretty so you got to watch. Well, I think it's still in theaters. I got to try to go see it because that's the only way you can see it in 3D.
Yeah,
because there's no 3D TVs anymore.
Matt Damon was kicking himself for turning down that project.
Yeah, and what it is too. A 3D movie, even if you have a 3D TV still, and it still works, you have to have the movie made in 3D on like DVD or formatted to play in 3D on the TV.
Right.
Because for a while there, they had, for like a couple years probably, they had like 3D Blu-rays, and then they were trying to do 3D. Remember when the TVs for a little after, about a year or two after they came out, ESPN was touting 3D football games. Remember?
Oh, wow.
College football, and you wear them, and you can see the players coming out of the screen, probably like about 2 feet out of the screen or something. I'm like, that's kind of a cool idea, but then the TVs just went away.
Wow, that's crazy.
I work with a guy that still has a freaking TV. He bought it like 7 or 8 years ago, and it's a freaking LG top of the line 3D TV. It came with 2 pair of glasses.
I think the USFL's coming back in April.
Huh?
I think the USL
is. Yeah. And then they're what they're changing up this year is they're going to be playing in multiple sites instead of like 2 or 3 different stadiums instead of one stadium.
Right, and I think also they're bringing well-known sportscasters who've called other games to it. So that's kind of cool.
Well, because I hope the league works out, because what the league could be is a farm system for the NFL.
There you go.
To have a player go there and play like 1 or 2 years, like coming out of college, go there and play like 1 or 2 years. Or what it could do is they should be in collaboration with the NFL. Where an NFL player goes, well, we signed this guy. Can we send him to your team for like a few months, and if he starts getting good there, we can bring him back up. It's kind of like how the NBA does that Gatorade League.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Where every now and then they bring a player up and he makes an NBA roster and gets paid a little more. maybe
And
a
that,
half a million more.
and that would be more support for the USFL if
Yeah,
they did that.
and
That'd
the
be cool.
USFL has nothing to do with the original one except for the name,
Yeah, that would
different
be
owner
really
and
cool
everything.
if
Because of
they
course
could
the
work out a deal.
original owner was like died. The original owner of the USFL has passed away. He was probably already in his 50s or 60s back then.
Right.
Remember, Donald Trump had a freaking USFL team. I think it was, wasn't it?
I can't remember, but if you
When
say
he was
so,
like probably in his 40s, he had
right.
like a USFL team.
It wouldn't surprise me if he did that.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
And then some big names got their start there, like Jim Kelly played like a because the league was only the original USF was only around for like 2 seasons. Jim
Right.
Kelly was there, Steve Young, I think, Herschel Walker. The problem with Herschel Walker is he went to the NFL and he was already done. He was already worn out because they ran him so much in USFL, like 400 carries or something this freaking season, some ridiculous crap, and he was worn out. He was still good when he was with the Cowboys, but he wasn't quite as good in the US as he was in the USFL.
Right.
When he went to the Vikings, he was pretty much done. He was like a half shell of himself.
I think you're onto something about it being like a farm club for the NFL. Mm-hmm. That'd be really cool.
It should be because then they could you could get a quarterback that's like maybe struggling in the NFL. You could send him down to the USFL and then bring him up, and he can maybe get better. You know,
I think if memory serves me right, the guy that left Boston College played in Canadian football.
Mm-hmm.
Really short quarterback.
Yeah, Flutie.
He played in the
Flutie Flakes. Remember those when he came back with Buffalo second time around in the NFL in like the early '90s?
Yeah,
he was or late. It was like late '90s, early 2000s. He had Flutie Flakes.
He played.
They were just frosted flakes with the different packaging.
Yeah, he played in the Canadian football.
And him on it.
Yeah. Flutie was a hell of a quarterback.
Well, he was. I think he played for the Toronto Argonauts.
Yeah, that's super
cool. And he won like multiple Grey Cups, and he was like he's like the all-time. I think he's like the all-time legend in CFL. He's like their Michael Jordan.
That's super cool.
And he was only like 5'8", 5'9".
He's not your typical height quarterback.
No, he's like my size, literally.
Well, Tom Brady. When you rewatch the Tom Brady's combine, he was the world's. He looked like the very super skinny, scrawny kid. So you can see why a lot of teams didn't pick him up. But then the Patriots.
Tom Brady's like 6'2" or 6'3".
Yeah.
Doug Flutie's like 5'8".
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Brady was really, really skinny compared to the other quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. And but it just shows you, man, with perseverance. And I think when he joined the Patriots, he was either third string quarterback or even under that third string quarterback. And then he worked his way up the depth chart.
You know what it was?
He was in New England.
Drew Bledsoe got injured.
Yeah. Oh, and then
they threw Tom Brady in there.
Yeah, once they threw Brady in there, Brady never.
It was like 2001. Drew Bledsoe got injured, and then Drew Bledsoe went on to play after that. I think for the Cowboys. For like a tiny bit.
Yeah. Did he ever play
for like a couple of years or something?
I can't remember if he ever played for the Falcons too.
Drew Bledsoe went to Wazoo. Is why he's big around here.
Yeah.
That was when Wazoo was running different type of offense. When they had Mike Leach there throwing it like 50 times a game or some shit. Like because Mike Leach died in December.
Right.
Coach Texas Tech, and he was in the Mississippi State. I think he was a Mississippi State head coach currently, whatever it was, or one of those schools. And he died. He was only like in his maybe late 50s or something.
Right.
And he passed away. Yeah. But what's cool about it though is, people were telling crazy stories about Mike Leach. Like he would just show up and like college students would be like just hanging out, and he'd show up and just start talking to him out of the blue. And then like he has this restaurant he went to like every day practically, and they're about to name like a I think they're thinking about naming like a menu item after him or something because he was there like every damn day.
Wow.
And or this was his current team that he was coaching for. He coached for like his last few years, and I don't know what he died from, but he wasn't that old. Like you can look him up, Mike Leach. And he was a character too. Like his interviews were always really entertaining. He'd say some wacky shit.
So I wonder if the Chiefs head coach does retire,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder who the Chiefs would go after to.
Oh no! Well, if they're thinking if he retires, what I heard on talk radio was coming from work last night. They think that if Andy Reid goes away, then they might take a hit.
Right.
Like in wins, maybe like a win or two.
Right.
Even if they have Mahomes, they still say it might go down to maybe like 10 wins, 11 wins instead of 12.
Right.
And plus, too, they're saying the gauntlet of NFL. There's like Burrows is a killer, is getting really good now, and then Trevor Lawrence improved, and Tua was tearing it up. They, when he was healthy, like in November, they had one of the best offenses going.
Oh yeah, for
with Waddle and with the speed they had the two. They had I think they had the first and second fastest wide receiver in the league with Waddle and then Hill was a speedster. He's the fastest guy in the league, I think.
If Tua stays healthy, Miami could have a hell of a season.
Yeah, but if he gets one more concussion, his brain could be mush.
Oh yeah, that would
because he had I don't even know. Like I could look it up. How many?
They were interviewing Tua during the Super Bowl weekend, and he said he was good. He said he was.
Well, of course you're going to say he's good. He wants to play still.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm going to look up how many concussions has Tua had.
I think he's been a couple already, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they got to watch those because, oh my God, because of what they could suffer later down in life. That's why it's now that they know the NFL knows more about concussions now than they ever did. And so that's why they put these players through this new concussion protocol now, because now they know it's, it's more about the player's safety than the game.
Here's one thing, though. That's what I'm kind of iffy about if Tua should ever play again. He had, experts that played in the NFL and analysts and shit said he had a third one. Because right here it says he's saying 2 in 2022 season, and then appeared to have a third. And like Keyshawn Johnson and freaking Shannon Sharp said he had 3 of those things.
Oh wow!
And then so like I think it was Keyshawn Johnson thinks he should never play again. I think it was him. So should never play again.
Wow.
Because one more hard hit, and you could have brain damage.
You could have stuff that will last.
Like because after you get one, and then you get and you're more susceptible. Because what problem is you get one, and then your chances go up probably about 50% of getting another one, and then it goes up again after you get a second one, and then when you got a third one, it goes up even more. So if he takes one hard hit, he could be like brain damage where he gets like his vision could be blurred.
Right. Stuff
and all this stuff. He could have ringing in his ears. He could have like severe headaches. He could have depression. I checked my order. It looks like the milk truck hasn't canceled deliveries. Crazy buggas driving trucking this.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. But so I'm concerned for Tua's health because Tua's only like 24 years old.
Yeah,
he's still got like 2/3 of his life ahead of him at least.
Right. Well,
because if he lived to like 75, 80, 90, I don't know how long he's going to live.
If I was him, I'd hurry up and develop a backup plan just in case he gets any more of those.
Yeah, if he gets another hard hit,
you got to start to put your.
By the way, you want to know.
He would have to start to put his life first. Oh, those are cool looking.
Yeah, they're really good. They have chunks of Reese's peanut butter cup inside of them.
Ooh, that's delicious.
Pretty darn good. Yeah, they're the best Chips Ahoy's. The other ones that are good are the ones that have the M&Ms in them.
Well, hopefully the experts there at the Miami Dolphins, hopefully the doctors that's taking care of that team,
Mhm.
hopefully they're brutally honest with him about the
Well,
of still
one of
continuing
them that was
football.
kind of fishy because they were talking about it for like a week on sports talk radio that they had concealed one of them, and then
Yeah,
they threw him back in there after he had a concussion, even though they knew he had one. They threw him back in there, and he agreed to it. So it's not
yeah,
like not like they were forcing him. They can't force anybody to do anything in the NFL, but
right.
well, then they can force you to do interviews.
Well,
Because
there you go.
remember Marshawn Lynch probably like 7-8 years ago,
Oh, I used to love
he
watching
refused to
his.
do interviews.
I used to
Well,
love
you know what?
watching
He's
his
required to
interviews.
do so much media like interviews. It's like 2 or 3 a week or whatever it
Oh,
is, and he was refusing to do them
and you know what's really
for
funny?
like a year.
Now he's on the NFL Network visiting teams
Hmm.
and checking out different occupations and stuff.
Yeah,
And it's hilarious because now he's doing a lot of
we have a
talking where
big
before
power
he didn't
cut.
want.
I'll have to siphon my car. I got to fill up the fuel cans for the gen. All you need to go get fuel for the generator so you can have some sort of power
Wow.
for your house. Well, yeah, to run his well because he's got all those freezers and refrigerator and his fryer. You know his two fryer unit for
Right.
his food and his flat top grill. You know he's got a little probably about 2 foot wide flat top grill where you can like grill burgers and
Ha- Halfwit sounds like he's doing survival
cheese
training there.
sandwiches. Yeah.
Halfwit, it sounds like you're being a survivalist in New
Mhm.
Zealand.
You know what you need to do if you ever get severe weather like that again, just buy one of those solar generators
Oh, there you go.
that has the fold out like probably like 6 foot long or 8 foot long solar panel that you set on the ground.
There you go.
And they're a little more expensive than the gas ones, of course, but they're worth
Man,
it.
some people are qualifying for at least here in the States. Some people qualify if they have certain kind of meters here in the States, they may
Mhm.
qualify for free solar panels to be put in
Mhm.
the house.
Yeah. Mhm.
So that's
You can
cool.
get solar roofs.
Yeah.
Tesla makes a solar roof. It's like a
And,
whole roof that's one
right.
like one
And,
giant solar panel or
and,
something.
and here's the crazy thing. When you start using the solar panels, you'll uh, some of that energy can be resold back to the solar company to the
Mhm.
electric company. It's so
Yeah,
funny.
my dad, my stepmom have 3 solar panels on top of their garage. That power somebody they can power like their appliances when their power goes out. Their appliances and like a few lights
Right.
in their place.
I tell you what, man, some of these off the grid people, it seems like when you do off the grid, there's a lot of upfront costs, but once you pay everything, then it
Mhm.
starts paying for itself.
Yeah, after like a few years, I was paying back and stuff.
Right.
Deep fryer is 2,100 watts. Solar won't power that.
Oh, there you go.
Well, it would if you had probably like 3 or 4 solar panels on top of your house, yeah, but maybe not a solar generator. I don't know, but you'd have to. Well, you can get those backup generators. Have you seen those like Generac and other companies make them where or actually you take a concrete slab and you put it down and then you mount the generator on top of it. And when your power goes out, the generator kicks in with like seconds after your power goes out. Well, my brother was renting a house. It was like a 1,200 square foot, like 2 bedroom house, a little house when he was engaged. And then um, my he had one of those Generac generators, and they make them for different size houses. They make like probably like half a dozen models and things. And what it was um, one time his power went out because he was living out a little ways on a 2 lane little 2 lane highway, and he had to drive probably about maybe 100 yards down the this fence line on a little dirt road to get to the house. Well, one time his power went out and the generator kicks right on like in a few seconds, and then it powers everything in his house because you can get like different size ones for different size houses. And they're called Generac. They used to be advertised on TV all the time late at night
Yeah.
on some channel.
I watched a few dudes on YouTube build kind of not great big giant cabins, but just medium-sized cabins,
Mhm.
and then they end up, using solar power, and then
Yeah, there's a show on, I don't know if it's still on. There's a show on TV called like Off the Grid or something, or
right.
something like that, and they show people building a maybe like a 1,200 square foot house. North. It's like a 2 bedroom house, and then they build like this metal. They put like this metal post in the ground, and they mount like a bunch of solar panels on it, and like there's like 6 or 8 of them on it.
It's really cool. These guys, some of them, what they do is they'll buy a property first, and then they'll build their off the grid cabin on it, and then they end up paying the rest of their
Wow.
end up not being very much per month.
I read that
they,
comment.
so they
It
don't
has a
have to
90
have
horsepower generator.
so
A
the
big
crazy
one.
thing is they don't have to have a big job.
It's like one of those job site ones you're talking about. The ones you probably pull behind like your truck or whatever. The ones on wheels, the big generators that run like a whole construction site. You know what I mean? They can run a construction site where you're building like a hospital or a freaking like elementary school. You know what I'm talking about? You've seen those ones. They have wheels on. They're on like a 10-foot trailer, and they're the big generators.
I've also seen people. The guy from that owns Virgin, the
Branson.
yeah, man,
Richard Bronson or Branson.
This private island he purchased, they originally were going to try and charge him like crazy amount of
Bought
money.
in the 70s too.
Yeah, he bought it a long time ago.
Necker Island.
Yeah, they were going to charge him a crazy amount of money, and finally, I think they only charged him they charged him. Anyways, I think
you can look it up.
Right.
Find out.
I think it was between $1 and $4 million that he purchased it for.
Let me see.
But anyways, they were going to charge him way more, and he didn't bite, and finally they lowered the price on it.
Yeah,
he did have to borrow money from family to purchase it.
Mm-hmm. And it's luxury private island.
Yeah, but he's had to rebuild there several times because he's had natural disasters hit the island. He's had to rebuild it a few times.
Private Paradise and Necker Islands in the British Virgin Islands.
Yeah,
and it's 74 acres is all it is.
Yeah, but anyways, the original price they were
maybe like a mile across or something.
Yeah, the original price they were going to charge him was outrageous, and he said no thanks. And then they came back and gave him a smaller price because they realized they didn't have anyone else that was going to buy it.
No, you know how much he bought it for?
How much did he buy?
To impress the lady on his arms, he offered $100,000. Was unsurprisingly told where to go. A year later, though, he offer didn't seem so laughable to the owner who, whatever's to sell him. Richard Branson paid $180,000 in sometime in the 70s, I think it was.
Right. Well, now
that's a lot more now, though. That's probably like 3 times that now.
Right. Now he could sell it for, well, now knowing that, if you did buy it today, you probably would buy it with all the properties on top of it. So he could ask for a handsome sum, I'm sure. But he's had to rebuild that sucker a few times because of natural disasters.
Yeah.
There. But you know what's funny?
Branson?
Each time he's rebuilt it, he's built it even better. It's pretty cool. Man, that dude is so driven. The dude that runs the company. He's really driven.
Look up Richard Branson. Purchase OPUR Necker Island. He was in the 70s. It was 1979. He purchased Necker Island for $180,000 and converted it into a private island resort in 1983. He is also co-owner of Makepeace Island, a luxury resort in Australia.
Oh, that's cool.
So he's co-owner of another one too. So he's like balling. He goes, I own my own. I own 2 islands.
That's super cool.
That would be awesome. And I noticed on like his Necker, I think they just ride golf carts around. I think because it's so small.
I think Johnny Depp also owns his own private island. And then in Dubai,
Mhm.
where they were pushing land up to come out of the water. In Dubai, they were selling a lot of the real estate that gets purchased in Dubai gets purchased like like a long time ago, sometimes before stuff gets built. But
Mhm.
anyways, there's virtually no crime in Dubai. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of wealthy people running around in Dubai. It's crazy. It's literally an oasis built out. So
Hmm. And then here's one too. Like Oprah
money's
Winfrey owns property on one of the San Juan Islands, off in Washington,
oh wow.
in a 43-acre estate. And then
Wow.
I don't know what it was like 8.275 million.
Yeah. Some of
Mm-hmm.
these celebrities, some of the first big paychecks they made, they purchased real estate and then they sit on it for a while and then they turn around and sell it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the Kardashians did that, have bought properties
Oh,
for,
she sold it. She sold it a couple years ago. Oprah did
you know,
a 40-acre Orcas Island estate for $14 million. So she made like a $7 million profit almost off of it
there you go.
from when she bought it. Well, she doesn't need the money. She's like, I think the richest woman in the world.
And isn't that funny? She started off as a weather person in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. And she's actually really cool.
Yeah.
She's not the best looking lady, but she seems really cool. Oprah
And then
Winfrey.
Dave,
Everybody always said she's super cool, and like
yeah.
there's just history here because the Orcas thing. I found out about Zell's fried chicken from Oprah Winfrey's show probably like 15 years ago because I was like, I didn't know what the hell this shit is. It's been around since like the mid 80s in
Yeah.
Washington. It's a famous fried chicken place. Well, I don't know if she had it shipped there or what, but she had a Zell's fried chicken made for her birthday in
Brett,
Chicago one year.
Brett, do you have Netflix, Brett?
No.
Oh, okay. You gotta watch. Oh, I gotta turn on my light. Someone turn
What
on
happened to your light? Yeah, I was like, you're
my
all of a
my little
sudden
fan.
you look like you
My,
had a blackout.
my little family turned the light off on me. Let me turn the light on. Hold on.
But yeah, no, I don't have Netflix. I have Amazon Prime. I pay $5 a month. I signed up for it like a few weeks ago. Um, Paramount Plus because it's like $5. It's so cheap. And then I also have Tubi, which is free. And Tubi you can watch like maybe 1,000 different programs on it or something. It's one of the free ones where you don't have to pay anything for it. And then Amazon Prime I've had for years, probably like I don't know 7-8 years. And then I have of course Paramount Plus because I wanted to watch. I'd never seen it. I wanted to watch the new season of the last season of Beavis and Butthead, the newest one, and the movies.
Right.
And then I ended up watching the post COVID
It
freaking South
any
Park, and then I watched the Streaming Wars South Park Part 1 and 2.
anyways on Netflix. There's a thing called The Founder, and it's the founder of McDonald's, right?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Have you watched the whole thing?
Yeah, I watched it like a maybe 2 or 3 years ago at my aunt and
It
uncle's house because they have
isn't that
Netflix.
amazing. And Michael Keaton
Yeah,
acted in it, right? Michael Keaton.
yeah. Michael Keaton, who
Yeah.
played, who was the original Batman. He was in Mister
Right.
Mom,
Right.
and he was in that. He was in that movie about the automobile company too. With that
Right.
what was that called? That was a good movie too. And Mister
Right.
Mom's good.
And
So
what
original Batman movies would be
and
good
what's
too.
amazing is it's built on a true story.
Mhm.
That that the
Yeah,
founder.
and then
I
they
just
talk about
I
history of McDonald's.
yeah, I just watched it I just watched
Mhm.
it maybe a
And he
few
plays
days.
the founder. He plays the founder of McDonald's,
I just watched it a few days
and
ago.
then like
It,
3/4 of the movie is like true. At least like
right.
75% of it or 80%
Yeah.
of it's true.
So anyone out there who's not watched the movie
Yeah.
called The Founder with Mike and Keaton
Mhm.
in it, it's basically the
Michael
person
Keaton.
that
Yeah.
yeah, he basically the person he portrays in that movie ends up creating the McDonald's
Good actor. He's
Corporation.
probably old now. He's probably like in his close
I
to
like what
70, 71.
yeah, and I don't know if this is true that happened, but at least they show it in the movie as happened.
Mm-hmm.
He made that character that Mike Keaton plays.
Oh, he's in this
He
movie
said
too. Wow.
you need to own the land that McDonald's
Mm-hmm.
sits on, so that way you get money
Yeah.
coming in. And then that's when he started making money so he could
Mm-hmm.
grow his McDonald's corporation.
Yeah. Here's a big one. Like maybe it was longer than that I saw the founder, but here's one he's going to be in. He's not the main lead. He's one of the supporting actors. He's going to be in The Flash.
Oh, and
coming out later this year.
And you know,
Michael
I saw
Keaton.
previews of that, and it looks really good.
Mm-hmm. And then he's also going to be, and then Ben Affleck's in it as Batman.
Oh, there you go.
Well, which he's not my favorite Batman. And then Michael Keaton is also well, maybe not in it as Batman, but Ben Affleck's going to be in it. Michael Keaton's going to be in it. Ezra Miller, never heard of the guy, is going to be playing Flash.
Yeah, my favorite Batman. I think all the actors that played Batman did a good job for what they wanted to do in those particular movies. But my favorite Batman series of movies has to be the Christian Bale ones. Those are my favorite. But that's up for debate. A lot of people have their own. Some people
the reason why the one was good, The Dark Knight, it wasn't because of. I think Christian Bale was the Batman still, but it wasn't because of him. It was because of Heath Ledger.
Oh yeah, he made a
Joker.
Really Joker.
And then I guess the last one, Joker or whatever it was called, the one with the weird guy. Joaquin Phoenix was good. My brother saw that like a couple years ago.
You know, I actually like part of the reason I like the Heath Ledger better than the new Joker, but is because it shows a Joker that's not. It shows a Joker that's more of a criminal mastermind, where the new Joker shows someone that's dealing with that's just crazy, right?
Yeah, like he has some he's like psychotic or like
right. Where the other Joker, he's still wild and crazy, but also a criminal mastermind.
I'll give you who was an awesome Joker too, and he was. You might know he was in Star Wars, and he was in the animated version of Batman in the 90s, and then he played the voice of Batman in the Arkham City video games.
Oh, cool.
He played Joker in there too, and it was I can't think of his name now.
Some people want to see William Dafoe.
Oh, geez.
Some people want to see William Dafoe play a Joker.
Yeah, well, what's his name? Mark. You know what I'm talking about? He played
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill was the voice of the Joker in the animated one. He was the voice of the Joker in Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, and then he was. I don't know if he's the new one. The new one's supposed to be good too. Gotham or whatever it's called, Gotham Knight or whatever it's called. The one that came out like 4 months ago.
I actually like the Gotham series because it showed how all these characters, how eventually they turned to the dark side.
But no, I'm talking about like
it showed that they didn't start off bad. It showed how like situations almost turned to bad. So that's what's so cool about the Gotham thing. Yeah. And I thought they casted that pretty well, that Gotham series.
Yeah, it's called Gotham Knight was the last one. It's like the newest Joker video game. The one the two that are really awesome are that I played is Arkham City, which was like for the I think it was for the 360 or maybe the Xbox One. It might have been 360. And then Arkham Knight is for the Xbox One, and those are awesome. They're so cool. I mean, like just how the fighting, how you fighting, it's really cool. And the newest one, you can drive. You drive like the Batmobile, and you drive the what's the other vehicle, or what it's called?
Like the motorcycle with the fat wheels on it.
Yeah, you drive that, the motorcycle, and then they got the flying shit too in those games. And then you can
Oh,
you
that's
can use like all the gadgets, like the grappling hook and all the things to like all the whole thing. And then it's just had a really cool story because it's based on the Arkham video games, and then maybe Goth Knights are based on the comic books,
what I like about those
the
games.
more
You
recent
feel like
comic books.
what I like about those kind of games. You feel like you're being dropped into the movie.
Yeah, and there's this like open world. We can do side missions, and you can just go like just like arrest somebody or like just attack them. And you can. What's cool about it too is you can just like jump off a building, float down, and just like take somebody out.
Yeah, a lot of the Rockstar games are like that too. The
Hmm.
different San Andreas and all the other kind of
Yeah, and then like Rockstar makes they made the Max Payne series, Max Payne one and two, which are on the original Xbox, and they made Max Payne 3, which is on the 360, and then
yeah.
then they made uh Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. Rockstar made those too, and those are amazing games, like the westerns.
Yeah. I got
They're
the
so
first
cool.
with
Yeah,
the PlayStation. So well, PlayStation.
PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
No,
Uh,
PlayStation 3 on
yeah.
the 360, and then the 4 and the last one, Red Dead Redemption 2 was on the 4 and Xbox One. You put on any Xbox One, but then now they make it for PC too. They had it out for
Yeah.
maybe like a year and a half for PC.
Yeah, some of the PlayStation Xboxes, not only did they play games, but they also played CD movies, which is cool.
Mhm. Yeah, well, like the all of them do up in well the PlayStation 2 was the first one that played DVDs.
Yeah,
That
that's
played
pretty.
movies. The Xbox played DVDs, and then the original Xbox, a bigger one with the X pattern on the top, and then they had um the,
Oh my
the
God.
original Xbox was the first
I,
console to
I,
have a hard
I,
drive built in.
I still have a Sega Genesis 2, and I still have a PlayStation 1, and I still have a
No, I used to
PlayStation
have a PlayStation
3.
One, but it got a little wet in my apartment when the fire.
Yeah, I had a
My
play.
same with my Genesis and my GameCube. I had a GameCube.
Yeah. I'll show you. I think I got some.
Yeah, you could. You know, what'd be cool to get if you could find one is like a CD, a Sega CD to attach to it. Oh yeah, Matt, that's a Sega Saturn game. Yeah, I remember playing that. I had a Sega Saturn for a while too. Yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
yeah, they came in the big ass old cases. Remember the big old cases? They were like
Yeah. Look
a
how big.
waste of plastic and
Look how big.
paper.
Yeah. Look how ridiculously big this case is.
Yeah, and the disc only takes up like half of it.
That's pretty funny. That is funny.
I thought you used to make those. The PlayStation ones were smaller. PlayStation ones were barely bigger than the disc.
Oh my God. I even got Virtual Cop and Area
Oh,
50.
Virtual Cop! I remember that game.
I even got the. I even got.
Yeah, it was part of the series of virtual games like Virtual Fighter.
Yeah.
Oh, Alien.
Yeah. Is that
Yeah,
funny?
the Alien. That machine still works.
Yeah, it still works. Yeah, I'm a.
Yeah, that looks cool. I remember I had a Sega CD. I remember playing like Madden on it and Virtual Fighter.
Here we go.
Some other games. I don't know. I had some other games too.
Sega Rally,
Well, I remember playing that too. Yeah.
NHL All Stars. That's
Oh, that was by Sega Sports. Yeah.
yeah.
I remember playing all those.
Oh hell, let me show you this. I even got the steering wheel. The Sega Saturn steering wheel arcade.
Oh wow, that's vintage.
Is that
It's
funny?
like telescoping steering wheel.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Yeah, that's pretty.
It's kind of a crappy steering compared to the Xbox one I have. The
Right.
one I have like a force feedback and it vibrates,
That's
and
so
it
funny.
has like a brake and gas pedal and paddle shifters.
You know what's funny about a lot of this?
I need to get that thing hooked back up.
What's funny about a lot of this stuff, you can now sell it to places that will buy vintage games, video consoles, and games.
Mhm.
and the reason mine still works is because I didn't play the hell out of it. But now, I mean, you can and not only get your money back, all the money you paid into it, but a little extra. But I'm still holding on to it because I'm still not
Yeah,
planning to sell it
you
yet.
could bust it out sometime, and you could do like you could get a you could probably get a you could buy like a capture card
Yeah, there
maybe,
you go.
or you might be able to you could try to see if you could stream it, stream
That's
your
so
Sega
funny.
Saturn games straight from the console because people use emulators now. That
Oh,
they just
that's
download
true.
on your laptop or your PC, but then you can play like Sega Saturn, PlayStation, Super Nintendo,
Yeah,
Genesis, all that stuff. Well, one I was
that's
looking
so
at was
cool.
really revolutionary back in the day. I remember I was like, oh, I remember that. You could buy
Part of the
games at like
reason,
Toys R Us was the 3DO.
right? Part of the
Remember
reason
the
I don't want to
3DO?
part of the reason I don't want to buy a new console or even one of those games that you put on your head,
Oh,
uh,
VR.
it's because whenever I buy stuff like that, I end up uh, spending a lot of money on stuff.
Or you get addicted to it. You play it for like
Yeah,
hours a
yeah,
day.
and you want to keep buying games. But I think
Because we're kind of
with
speaking of that,
one
they
of the
have the
with one of the if I'm not mistaken, with one of the VR headset, it already comes with a lot of games. I think it might have been the very first one that came out with it. I'm not
um
sure about that, but
no,
they
there's one you can have the games that are built into it.
there,
It's the Oculus Quest.
yeah,
I
there's
think is what you're
one.
talking about because you can download games to it and you can literally just be walking. You could walk across the street and be like playing. You could walk to your neighbor's house and just
Right.
start playing it
Yeah, that's
because the other ones you have to either have a console
right.
or a desktop gaming PC
Right.
or a laptop to play. Because like the Drunk Gamer has the Oculus Quest 2 and the PSVR, but
Oh, cool.
he says he's going to buy the PSVR 2 because what it is the PSVR 2 is compatible with the newer PlayStation, which is the 5, and it's not better. It's like a lot better, and they redesigned the headset a little bit too. They made it lighter.
Oh, cool.
The controllers look different. The little joysticks or whatever the heck you call it, putting your hands look different,
You're
and
right.
it's just gonna be better because it uses the power of the PlayStation 5. The original one used the power of the PS4 and was barely powerful enough to run it.
Right.
So it's gonna be a lot more powerful.
Yeah,
Probably like 50% more powerful.
those VR things look really cool.
Mm-hmm. And then
Wait,
there's like a they make the Quest Pro or some crap too. It's like $1,200.
yeah. Oh man, I'll have to wait till they.
Even better, yeah. And then
I'll wait. I'll wait till
HTC
they've been
makes
out a
one.
long time before I ever grab that
HTC
one.
makes the Vive, which
That's
has been out for like a couple years or 3 years, but it's really good too. But it's like $600, $700 or something.
there you go. Which is still a lot of money for most people. That's still
Yeah, I still
but,
think I think the PSVR the 2 what is called gonna be more money than the first one. It's gonna be like $500 or $600 or something.
but
And then you still got to buy the console. If you don't have the console, you can't use it.
yeah,
You got to spend $500 on the console.
yeah. The cool thing is, I think I'm just amazed how it keeps getting better and better,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
pretty rad. Yeah, like I've seen the Drunk Gamer use a steering wheel, a force feedback steering wheel, and the VR headset at the same time.
wow, that's super
And
cool.
he does one racing game, and I'm like, well, I'll always give him crap. You're gonna crash again. You always crash because sometimes he's had like 5 or 6 beers and he gets on that steering wheel and wrecks his cars. He does.
That's
Like because that's his channel name, the Drunk Gamer, and he drinks beer a lot when he plays.
That's
and then he played. But yeah, I was talking to him like maybe a couple days ago when he was streaming. I'm like, someone said he put like 5,000, like 5,000. He goes, yeah, I have over 5,000 streams I've done.
Oh wow!
Because he sometimes will do like, yeah.
Hey, I'm going to wrap this up.
Okay.
But I want to thank you for joining me on the live stream here.
Yeah, you're welcome. I was on Lady Marty's panel before this one.
Oh, cool.
Like working on yours, all on Lady Marty's panel for probably an hour and a half.
Oh, that's cool.
with Faye
Well, here
Garcia.
you almost, yeah, here you almost been with me here for almost the whole 2 hours. So that's super cool.
Yeah, well, I didn't
But
come up and probably until like over an hour into it
well,
though, or something.
I like what you said. You realize you were leaving so much in the comments. You might as well come up and been on the panel, which was
Yeah,
cool.
because I'm like, why am I the only one commenting?
Yeah, there you go.
I might as well just talk to you, and I go, I don't have to type that way either because I was getting tired of
Oh,
typing.
but you know what I tell my I think I told this to Josh NC78. You not only do your live stream for the people that are watching right now, you're also going to do this live stream for the people who end up rewatching the live stream.
Yeah, but
So
see, the whole thing is though, you can find out like when you're live stream upload how much they actually watch it. I usually get like 12 minutes.
Right.
If I follow like my 12-hour stream, they'd watch like on average like 12 minutes or 11 minutes of each one of them.
I'll never forget that. It's a marathon stream. I think you did with Ellie. You went
No, it was with John Quinn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like it was like probably like 10 or 11 months ago.
And how many hours was each one?
30 hours. I think it was 30 hours, 1 minute and 28 seconds. And I was awake for the whole thing.
Wow.
And people didn't believe me. I go, I was awake 5 hours before I started that damn thing. I was awake at like 12 something. I started after 5.
Oh my God.
So I was like 5 hours I was awake, and then I had to watch my brother's dog at the time because I was living with him. So I had to take his dog out to go pee. I had to get food a few times.
I think the longest I've ever done is maybe anywhere between 2 to 3 hours. I usually don't do streams any longer.
I haven't done a stream for almost 2 months now.
Oh wow, that's
cool. But you if you were doing like, well, I cut it down to a week, but I was still doing like 12 hours once a week.
So, anyways, make sure y'all check out Brett Glasgow.
And I had a short upload like 3 days ago. If anybody wants to see it, it was crepes I made.
Make sure
you know what a crepe is. It's like a thin kind of pancakey thing. You roll up and you put like fruit or like I put cream cheese in the middle, and there it was a lemon butter crepe mix. And then I made them more than one day, but 2 of them I put just regular cream cheese. And then I got a creative idea. I mixed Nutella and cream cheese together in one of them and put it in. It was pretty good.
Wow.
And I didn't know how I was going to go with the lemon, but it wasn't actually pretty good. Chocolate and lemon is actually surprisingly good together because the batter has a slight lemon taste to it. So the crepes have a slight lemon taste.
Oh, wow. Anyways, make sure y'all check out Brett Glasgow's channel.
Yeah, and check out Halfway Harvey.
Make sure you
check out delivery driver just said 60 kilometers, 40 miles. North truck blew over. What?
And make sure you check out Halfwit's channel. Make sure you check out Brett's channel.
Yeah, make sure you check out Halfwit's because Halfwit does goofy stuff like 2 streams. He was riding his unicycle.
Halfwit's
he was trying to learn how to ride a unicycle, and then like other streams he'll show his food, or he'll do like
I saw
stuff with his dog.
On one of his live streams, I saw him chopping some wood, and then I also saw him pedaling on his bicycle around.
Yeah, and then he was his unicycle. The like last week or week and a half ago, he's riding his unicycle.
Yeah, and then
with his daughter.
On this channel here, you'll see me do either building a campfire, and you'll also see me enjoying my favorite.
You know what you should do? You should like go farther, and like if you build a campfire, like cook something over the like campfire, like a legit meal, not like a hot dog or a roasted marshmallow. I mean like cook a steak or
like a full-time steak.
Yeah, like a steak or a piece of like a piece of chicken. Like a chicken on the bone, or because you know what you should get. You should get one of those. Start a campfire and get one of those. You know what I'm talking about? It's like the bar, and then get a Dutch oven.
Yeah,
get a Dutch oven and cook outside, and you can hang the Dutch oven from the little thing. You can put the Dutch oven with the chain on it, and hang the Dutch oven from there.
Have something hanging over the fire, and I'll turn it like this. There you go.
Oh, you mean a rotisserie?
There you go.
You get them,
cool.
yeah, you can get the manual rotisserie. You know what you should do? The Filipinos would love it. You could advertise it for like a week or two, and then you could get a whole pig, a
Oh,
whole small pig, like a suckling pig that's like 40 or 50 pounds, and get one of those hand crank rotisseries and cook it over your fire and make some lechon. The Filipino
there you go.
lechon.
Make some lechon. That'd be
And
cool. That'd be wild.
roast the pig for like, I don't know, 6-8 hours. You don't have to turn it over like maybe every half an hour or something. You just crank it half a turn.
Look what halfway I will do a live in less than 2 weeks. Hundreds of American muscle cars drive through the intersection outside my shop.
Americana. Oh, it's called Americana. That's cool. Yeah, muscle cars are cool. I watch some shows that they like rebuild muscle cars. I watch this father and son called Turning Rust, and they don't really fix them up too nice, but they get them running. They put nice brakes. They make sure the brakes are running good. They put like a nice exhaust. Sometimes they might mildly soup up the engine, but they keep the patina on it. What they do, called Craven Customs, is actually what the shop's called. It's in Texas, somewhere, and it's a father and son that do it. And what they do is they'll find a abandoned car out in someone's farm or like out in their garage they haven't touched for like 30 years. And then what they do is they try to get it running. And every car they've got them running so far.
Oh,
and like
wow,
literally,
cool.
and the last one I watched was they bought a 69 Ranger Ford pickup, and it was sitting for like 30 years, and the guys out, they actually had to dig the wheels out, the tires out of and they had to dig around them to get them out, and the brakes were locked. It was they bring it home, and then the whole rest of the episode for like 40 minutes is just them showing them getting it running. They're like pouring gas in it. They're hitting the carburetor floats with a little tiny hammer to try to get the floats up, and then they're checking the coil and the spark plugs and the distributor, and they finally got it running. And then they fixed the brakes, they put a new cool exhaust on it and all this stuff. And then they put cool new tires and wheels on it and drove it down the road. They put a cool exhaust with like flame shooting out the hood.
That's cool. Hey, next time I do a live stream, feel free to come up again, brother.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. Bye.
I'll talk to you later.
Bye, Lone Wolf McQuay. Bye, Harvey.
Yeah. Lone Wolf
he's only here still, so bye, everybody.
AK Lone Wolf's Bushcraft Travel. That's a nickname Brett gave me, Lone Wolf McQuay. I think it has to do with the show that Chuck Norris was on, Lone Wolf McQuay. That's the nickname Brett gave me. Anyways, thanks to Brother Brett. Thank you, Brother Brett. Thank you, Brother Halfwet, for hanging out with me. Thank you, LA, also, who was hanging out here earlier. Please go check out the Lone Wolf's Bushcraft Travels channel. If you like the content of the Lone Wolf's Bushcraft Travels channel, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell so that each time I make a new video, you'll get a notification that some new content is hitting my channel. Anyways, thanks a lot to my co-host, Brett. You rock, Brett. Thank you so very much. To those of you who end up rewatching this live stream, if you do like the content you see here on the Lone Wolf Bushcraft Travel channel here, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe. And then also please hit that notification bell. And pretty much with any YouTube channel you like, if you find that you're going to, particularly this channel, if you find yourself visiting the Lone Wolf's Bushcraft Travels channel, if you're visiting me here pretty often, why not go ahead and give me a like, comment, and subscribe. I want to say anywhere between 94 to 97% of you still have yet to subscribe to this channel. And if you're coming and viewing content anyways, just quickly hit that like and subscribe button. And then also hit that notification bell. The reason I know this is because I go on YouTube Analytics. and it shows me that I have a large audience that's viewing my channel but has yet to like, comment, and subscribe. The reason a lot of us YouTubers mention that a lot, it's a one thing that helps out with the YouTube algorithm. It shows that we're engaging our audience. So when anybody in our audience likes, comment, or subscribes, it's showing engagement. Brother Halfwit. And also, let me throw up Brother Brett's. So yeah, make sure you guys check out this channel right here. And where's Brother Brett? Make sure you show some love to this channel right here, and also show, yeah. So make sure you guys go check out this channel, and also check out this channel as well. And of course, this channel right here was my co-host today. He's pretty awesome. Make sure you check out this channel too. They came and visited the live stream as well, and also shared it out. And yeah, and then last but not least, make sure you check out this channel. And let me share out my co-host who, man, he was with me the whole 2 hours. So yeah, make sure you go check out this channel. Thanks for co-hosting with me here, Brother Brett. I appreciate you. So anyways, hope you guys and gals have a really awesome day. Thanks for joining me here on this live stream. And thanks to those of you who end up rewatching this live stream. I appreciate you. Thank you all out there for all the views, comments, and likes. Thank you to my subscribers who've been with me for a long time. And thank you to my new subscribers who just joined the Lone Wolf's Bushcraft Travels family. So thank you to both old subscribers and new subscribers as well. Anyways, hope you guys are all doing well out there, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream, or I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Later. Cheers. Take care. Later, Gators. Peace. Talk to you all later. Have a good day. Take care, all. Take care, everybody. Later, Gators. Cheers.